Chapter 464. Lu Lixian was a little scared by Lu Tongjia's attitude. No. My cousin introduced her like this. He said her name was Su something Sang. Lu Lixian couldn't remember. Lu Tongjia sneered. Su Qing Sang. Yes, that's her name. Lu Lixian found that his aunt seemed to be very angry, but he couldn't figure out why. Was she angry at Jin Yao for taking Su Qing Sang out? Or was she angry at her daughter-in-law? Why did she sound so angry? Old Master Hua, who was sitting on the side, didn't look too good. As for Hua Mingguang, his expression was even worse. Lu Tongjia was the one who looked the most upset. She stood up and looked at Old Master Hua. Look. What did I say? I said that a woman from a small family like Hua Jinyao would be short-sighted and ignorant. What did you say? You said that Jinyao picked her himself. It's fine as long as he likes her. But now? She's back, but she's not going home. Instead, she's having fun outside. Does she have any respect for this family? Does she have any respect for us? Old Master Hua didn't look happy, but he was still rational. We haven't figured it out yet. Maybe there's some other reason. What reason? What other reason could there be? Does she think I can't tell? She knows that I don't like her, so she won't even go home with Jin Yao. Otherwise, what other reason could there be? The more Lu Tongjia thought about it, the angrier she got. I told him to break up with that woman a long time ago, but he wouldn't listen. Now he's been seduced by her? That's enough. That's enough. Old Master Hua had never been dissatisfied with Lu Tongjia, but sometimes he thought that she was too arrogant. He wasn't happy that Su Qing Sang was back, but she didn't come home. But he wasn't an unreasonable elder. Call Jin Yao and ask him what's going on. Lu Tongjia, on the other hand, was furious. I won't fight. I want to see when he's going to bring her home. I also want to see how arrogant this Su Qing Sang is. If she has the guts, she can stay away from our family forever. Old Master Hua furrowed his brows. Although he didn't agree with Lu Tongjia, he didn't say anything. Lu Lixian sat to the side with a gloating look on his face. Hua Jinyao held Su Qingsang's hand and walked to the cafe where Old Master Li and Li Qianxue were. How are you these days? The reason why Hua Jinyao returned to Rong City earlier was that he wanted Su Qingsang to spend more time with Li Qianxue. The phone call from before sounded good. Not bad. Su Qingsang smiled at him and told him about Li Qianxue accompanying her to Rong City. I think she's fine. Originally, she wanted me to accompany her for a few more days, but in the end, she followed me so far away. It's cold here, and I can tell that she's not used to it. Yes. He also said that he would buy me a house. Su Qingsang repeated Li Qianxue's words. He couldn't help but laugh. How could I have fallen to such a state? If you feel sorry for me, I can just find a hotel to stay in. Hua Jinyao suddenly stopped and stood in front of Su Qingsang, looking down at her. You don't believe me? Of course not. I didn't say that. Su Qingsang put on an innocent face. Hua Jinyao narrowed his eyes and suddenly put his face in front of Su Qingsang's. You'd better not have such thoughts. So what if I do? Su Qingsang raised her petite face with a provocative look. Hua Jinyao suddenly turned his face and bit her on the lips. Su Qingsang took a step back in pain. Hua Jinyao put his arm around her waist and looked at her with narrowed eyes. If you have such thoughts, I don't mind proving it with my actions. Su Qingsang understood what he meant by, prove it with my actions. She blushed. Stop it. My mom is waiting. Hua Jinyao turned to take her hand and led her to the direction of the cafe. The buildings on the outer streets nearby were of foreign style, but the buildings 2 streets away were of local characteristics. After resting in the cafe for a while, Hua Jinyao took Old Master Li and Li Qianxue to walk around. There were a lot of toys, but Li Qianxue and Old Master Li were not interested. Su Qingsang, on the other hand, was very interested. She looked at the stalls here and there for a while. Often, Hua Jinyao said he wanted to buy it after she took a few glances at it. Su Qingsang couldn't stand it, so she stopped looking. These are just fun to look at. There's no place to put them at home. Let's go. I just heard that there's a food street up ahead. Hua Jinyao raised his eyebrows and looked at Li Qianxue and Old Master Li behind him. They were not people who would go to the food street to eat. Su Qingsang stuck out her tongue. She really wanted to go. Qingsang, go if you want to. We'll accompany you. Although Li Qianxue had never eaten roadside food, she could eat whatever her daughter liked. Then let's go and have a look? Su Qingsang's overly cautious attitude made Li Qianxue's heart ache again. She took her hand and turned to look at old Master Li. Dad, I've never been to a place like that. Let's go together. Old Master Li had no reason to disagree. So the group turned a corner and went to the food street not far away. Su Qingsang was too embarrassed to eat in front of so many people. However, when she saw the roasted sweet potatoes, she couldn't help it. I want one. It had just snowed, so it was very cold here. It was very comfortable to eat a hot roasted sweet potato. Hua Jinyao rejected immediately. It's such a big one. You won't eat dinner after eating it. Then I'll eat half, and you can eat the other half. Hua Jinyao looked disgusted. Su Qingsang was annoyed. Hey, are you eating or not? No. Hua Jinyao was quite unyielding. Didn't you see the news? When he saw the old man looking at the roasted sweet potato, Hua Jinyao cleverly stopped talking. Su Qingsang gave him a smug look and went forward to ask for 2 sticks. The old man helped her pack them. When he heard that she didn't bring change, he took out his phone and asked her to scan the QR code. Uncle, you're so fashionable. You even know this payment app. This is called keeping up with the times. I asked my son to teach me for a long time before I learned it. The old man smiled and looked at Su Qingsang. Little girl, are you full with so many people eating only 2? I'll give you another one. No need, no need. Thank you, too. That's enough. Su Qingsang was shocked by the old man's enthusiasm and hurriedly brought 2 sweet potatoes over. When she brought them over, she glanced at Li Qianxue. Mom, do you want to try? Li Qianxue's expression was very good at this time. She had lived for almost half of her life and had never eaten something like this. Looking at the roasted sweet potato that was still steaming, her expression was a little strange. Mom, don't you want one? This is really delicious. Su Qingsang looked at Li Qianxue's expression and knew that she had never eaten something like this. I'm not lying to you. When I was in college, Shi Mengwan and I often went to the school gate to buy this after the evening self-study session. Let's try it, old Master Li said first. He took the sweet potato, directly broke it open, and gave half to Li Qianxue. When I was young, I ate a lot of this. It doesn't make sense that my stomach has become fragile now that I'm old. Dad! Li Qianxue had no choice but to take it, but her face was full of embarrassment. You're not asking me to eat this on the street, are you? It's not a big deal. They don't know us anyway. Su Qingsang smiled, turned around, and gave half of it to Hua Jinyao. The meaning in her eyes was obvious. Grandpa and Mom both ate it. It didn't make sense that he was more fragile than them, right? Hua Jinyao rubbed the top of her head and took the half of the sweet potato helplessly. He took a bite and found that it was quite sweet. It's not bad. It is. Su Qingsang was satisfied. Let's go. Hua Jinyao felt a little helpless. He was the dignified young Master Hua. When had he ever eaten from such a stall? It was also to cooperate with Su Qingsang. But Su Qingsang thought it was quite good. Hua Jinyao, a tall man more than 1.8 meters tall, held a roasted sweet potato and ate it on the road. Feeling the gazes around him, he wanted to throw the sweet potato away. Li Qianxue actually felt uncomfortable. No matter how spoiled she was still raised by old Master Li as the daughter of a noble family. When had she ever done such a thing? However, seeing that Su Qingsang was eating, she reluctantly took a bite. Unexpectedly, after the first bite, although she didn't think it was as delicious as Su Qingsang said. But this was really something she had never tasted before, and it was quite refreshing. Another thing was that eating the food that her daughter liked seemed to be a little closer to Su Qingsang. The group of people strolled like this for the whole afternoon. In the evening, Hua Jinyao found a local specialty restaurant and took old Master Li and the other 2 to try the local specialties. After shopping for the whole afternoon, old Master Li and Li Qianxue's impression of Hua Jinyao increased a lot. It wasn't because of Hua Jinyao's status, but because with his status, it was already quite good that he could do what he did. After eating and drinking, Hua Jinyao sent the two elders back to the hotel. Grandpa, what time will you wake up tomorrow morning? I'll arrange for someone to pick you up. Since we're going to visit the in-laws, it can't be too early or too late. Let's go to 9 o'clock. Okay. I'll ask Wen Chang to come at 8:50 in the morning. When Hua Jinyao said this, he glanced at Li Qianxue. Wen Chang is my assistant. You should have met him. It's okay. You can arrange it. Li Qianxue was really a mother-in-law looking at her son-in-law now. The more she looked at him, the more interested she was. Then I'll take Qingsang home first. Okay. Su Qingsang took her luggage and followed Hua Jinyao back home. Chapter 465. The Hua family was brightly lit. Old Master Hua, Hua Mingguang, and Lu Tongjia sat on the long U-shaped sofa in the hall. The two brothers, Hua Mingliang and Hua Yifan. What surprised him the most was that Lu Lixian was also present. Hua Jinyao glanced at Lu Lixian, then at Old Master Hua's face. Grandpa Qingsang is back. Old Master Hua glanced at him and nodded in response. Su Qingsang felt that the atmosphere was not quite right when she entered the room. But she was thinking about something else. He didn't come back for Chinese New Year, and he didn't come back for the Lantern Festival either. Although she had called Old Master Hua to wish him a Happy New Year, the old man was probably still angry. Grandpa. Su Qingsang stepped forward and greeted the elders. The others were still fine. They all maintained each other's dignity and responded. Lu Tongjia was the only one who snorted and looked away. Su Qingsang had long known that Lu Tongjia didn't like her. He thought for a moment, then turned to look at Hua Jinyao. Hua Jinyao took 2 steps forward and put his arm around Su Qingsang's waist. Mom, Qingsang must be tired from the flight from Lin City today. I'll take her upstairs to rest first. I'm tired. Lu Tongjia got even angrier when she saw Hua Jinyao defending Su Qingsang like that. How can I not be tired? They had been playing outside for an entire day. Of course I am tired. Hua Jinyao glanced at Lu Lixian. As soon as he met her gaze, he shrunk his neck and turned his face away. The corners of Hua Jinyao's lips curled up. He didn't pay any attention to his unreliable cousin who liked to fan the flames. Grandpa, Qingsang's flight this morning would arrive at noon. Her mother and grandfather also came, so she didn't come back immediately. Hua Jinyao didn't look at Lu Tongjia. He only said to Old Master Hua, Qingsang's grandfather is Li Yongfeng. He was the former chairman of the Li Group in Lin City. This time, he came with Qingsang's mother to pay you a visit. Visit? We can't afford it. You're already here, but you're still letting your daughter run off to play with you? Yet, he didn't come knocking on our door. He was obviously looking down on us. How can we afford to have them visit us? Lu Tongjia didn't like Su Qingsang. She didn't like Su Qingsang. Once she got into a dead end, it would be hard for her to get out. Why didn't you come as soon as you got off the plane? It's because there's a rule in Lin City that you can't visit your in-laws after noon. Since they can't come to the house, I'll take Qingsang, his mother, and grandfather around in the afternoon. Grandpa, you don't mind such a small thing. Brother Yongfeng is here? Old Master Hua had met Old Master Li a few times before. That's good. We can have a good gathering tomorrow. Lu said. Master, Tongjia said. Lu said, I Tongjia, Qingsangji. Don't tell me you're hiding him? Lu. Qingsangji's. Su Tong. Lu, Tongjia I yang Tongjia I Tongjia Master. I Tongjia. Hua Jinyao turned his eyes back to Old Master Hua. Dad, don't worry. They'll visit us tomorrow. Old Master Hua nodded. He had met Li Yongfeng once or twice and had a good impression of him. However, but didn't you tell me before? He glanced at Su Qingsang and didn't say the rest of the words that were on the tip of his tongue. Grandpa, Hua Jinyao interrupted. Hua Jinyao interrupted Old Master Hua. If you want to know about this, I'll talk to you in the study later. Now let Qingsang rest. She's been tired all day. Old Master Hua was about to nod, but Lu Tongjia couldn't help it. What can't be said here? Why do we have to talk in the study? He glanced at Su Qingsang, and the look in his eyes was quite rude. Or is there something that you can't let others know about? Everyone in the living room had different expressions on their faces. Old Master Hu didn't look happy. Lu Lixian was there, and he didn't want to embarrass Lu Tongjia in front of the younger generation. As for the others, they all looked like they were watching a good show. Hua Mingguang didn't agree with his wife's decision, but he didn't say anything. Su Qingsang furrowed her brows slightly. Her pretty face was expressionless. She had already told Hu Jinyao about this on her way here today. She had told Hu Jinyao when she stayed in Lin City. She told him not to tell the Hua family about her identity for the time being. Su Qinghui was her biological father, but he wanted to take revenge on her biological mother and switch her identity? Su Qingsang didn't think it was embarrassing to tell the Hua family about her identity, and it didn't matter if they found out. However, Li Qianxue had been considerate of her. She didn't care about having a father like Su Qinghui, but it wasn't something to be proud of. If people knew that even her own family had set her up, she wouldn't be able to raise her head in her husband's family. She wanted to discuss an excuse. How should she tell Hu Jinyao's family? Su Qingsang had told Hu Jinyao about it on the way here. It was the same as what Li Qianxue said to the relatives of the Li family last time. It meant that they had been switched. As for how? Who would seriously investigate what had happened back then? Mom. Hu Jinyao's expression suddenly changed because of Lu Tongjia's words. There's nothing to hide. It's just that Qingsang is tired. I want her to go upstairs and rest. Tired? Why did you come back so late if you're tired? You didn't even come home for dinner? That's right. You only care about her parents and family now. Why would you care about us? Speaking of which, isn't she an illegitimate daughter? She was just an illegitimate daughter, but the Li family came to visit her eagerly. Visit what? Don't tell me that you want to get some benefits from this illegitimate daughter who clings to the Hua family? His words were really overbearing. Even Su Qingsang couldn't stand it anymore, not to mention old Master Hua. Her lips moved and she was about to refute, but Hu Jinyao pressed her hand down. Are you done talking? If you are, I'll take Qingsang upstairs. As for those shameful things, you also said that it's shameful. Naturally, we can only talk about it in a shameful place. You. Lu Tongjia was angry with Hu Jinyao. Her face suddenly darkened. I'm not finished. I just want to know, do you still care about this family? Do you still care about me, your mother? Chapter 466. Lu Tongjia wasn't someone who didn't know anything about the company. Speaking of which, Jinyao, you've taken care of the Li family a lot, haven't you? Why did I hear that you handed over many projects to the Li Corporation, and some of them were even within the scope of the Li Corporation's business? Her voice was soft, but her words were sharp. He stared at Su Qingsang with no trace of politeness. Now that they've tasted it, they want to get even more benefits, so they came here eagerly. Is that so? Mrs. Hua. Su Qingsang couldn't help but speak before Hu Jinyao could. She didn't call Lu Tongjia Mom. She knew that Lu Tongjia didn't want to acknowledge her, so she didn't force her. Sorry, I don't like it when you talk about my family like that. My mom and grandpa came to visit. It was sincere. As an in-law and an elder of mine who is already married to Hu Jinyao, it's normal for me to visit him. I don't have any ulterior motives. As for the benefits you mentioned, sorry, I don't see it either. Although the Li Corporation couldn't be compared to the Tianyu Group, it had a good reputation in Lin City over the years. What's more, a powerful dragon couldn't suppress a local snake. The Tianyu Group was indeed impressive. However, after Hu Jinyao went to Lin City, the Li family also used their advantages to provide Tianyu Group with more convenience than other companies. I don't understand why you, Mrs. Hua, are saying that we're taking advantage of Tianyu Group. Of course, you can choose not to cooperate with the Li Corporation. But I believe that in all of Lin City, you won't be able to find a more suitable partner for Tianyu Group than the Li Corporation. Because our company can be said to be the most capable in the entire Lin City. Finally, I know that you don't like me. You think that I'm not good enough for him after marrying Hu Jinyao. But I am me, and my parents are my parents. I can't help it if you don't like me. But I want to tell you that my parents are the same as all parents in the world. They just want their children to live well and be happy. So, they are not as filthy as you think. He finished saying all this in one breath. He ignored the gazes of the other people in the living room. She turned to look at old Master Hua. I'm sorry, Grandpa. It's my fault that I didn't go home the first time I came back. I'll be more careful next time. I'm fine. These are all trivial matters. Looking at Su Qingsang, old Master Hua couldn't be more satisfied. She really had the shadow of his old wife. She looked delicate and pretty, but who knew that she had a temper? He had a temper, but he wasn't impulsive. Don't be rash. His grandson had good foresight and did not misjudge him. Lu Tongjia was rendered speechless by Su Qingsang's words. Her lips moved and she wanted to say something, but old Master Hua interrupted her. You must be tired. Go and rest early. Let's talk about it later. Okay, Grandpa. Su Qingsang was really tired, so she didn't stand on ceremony with him. I'll go upstairs first. He glanced at Hua Mingguang and the others and bowed slightly. Good night, Dad. Good night, Uncle. Good night, everyone. After saying this, she gracefully turned around and went upstairs. Even if the way she walked was not as elegant as the daughter of a rich family, her aura was definitely not inferior. Old Master Hua couldn't be more satisfied. He touched his chin and motioned for Hua Jinyao to go upstairs with Su Qingsang. Wait. Lu Tongjia didn't look pleased. Not only had she been humiliated by her son, but she had also been humiliated by her daughter-in-law. How could she let this go? Hua Jinyao, stay here and make things clear. Hua Jinyao stopped and looked into Lu Tongjia's eyes. Mom, what else do you want to hear? I think Qingsang is quite right. Hua Jinyao, you have a wife now and don't want your mother anymore, do you? Hua Jinyao looked up at her and said, I didn't mean that. If you have to think that way, there's nothing I can do. Grandpa. Hua Jinyao looked at old Master Hua and said, I'll go upstairs first. His attitude of not taking Lu Tongjia seriously made her even more dissatisfied. Before she could lose her temper, Hua Jinyao had already left. Lu Lixin saw this and said, All right, Auntie. I don't think you should be angry. I think maybe my cousin is understanding that my cousin-in-law is tired today. Don't be angry. It would have been better if he hadn't said this, but his words were obviously adding fuel to the fire. Lu Tongjia was Hua Jinyao's mother, but Hua Jinyao didn't understand her, but Su Qingsang? All right. It's getting late. You should all go back and rest. Hearing old Master Hua's words, the others stood up. Some went home, and some went upstairs to rest. Lu Tongjia felt like she was suffocating. She couldn't get out, nor could she get out. Auntie, I'm leaving. I'll come and see you another day. Lu Lixin was infuriated. However, facing old Master Hua's penetrating gaze, he was a little scared and quickly left. Lu Tongjia felt a headache coming on. Hua Mingguang glanced at her, and in the end she could only follow him upstairs. Upstairs, Su Qingsang was lying on the ground as soon as she entered the room. Her luggage had already been carried upstairs. She was really tired. She thought that Hua Jinyao would stay downstairs for a long time, but he came up a few minutes later. She sat up immediately and asked, How was it? Your mother didn't scold you, did she? It didn't matter if she scolded him. He had been scolded many times over the years. Su Qingsang looked at him guiltily and said, I'm sorry. I really couldn't help it. It was one thing for Lu Tongjia to scold her, but she had to drag Li Qianxue into it. Li Qianxue didn't have the intention to scold Li Qianxue in the first place. If she didn't refute Lu Tongjia's words, she wouldn't be able to hold her head high in the future. It has nothing to do with you. Hua Jinyao walked up to her and rubbed the top of her head. I think you're right. Su Qingsang smiled. She was a little embarrassed. Because of Hua Jinyao's unprincipled attitude of standing on her side. Hua Jinyao. Thank you. Hua Jinyao's response was to flick her forehead. Su Qingsang shrank her head back in pain. It hurts. His hand was very strong. With just a flick, her forehead was already red. Okay? Let me see. Hua Jinyao found that her forehead was really red, so he kissed it. Then he reached out and rubbed it. Don't think too much. My mother's temper is like that. If you don't like it, we can live outside. We can come back to see Grandpa on the weekends. Really? To be honest, Su Qingsang didn't want to stay with Lu Tongjia every day. But I can't for the next few days. I'll report to work in a few days. Okay. Hua Jinyao thought of something else. The first hospital of Rong City is about a 15-minute drive from our company. It's on the way. I happen to have an apartment nearby. When the time comes, I'll get someone to tidy up the apartment and we'll live there. Okay. Su Qingsang was really touched by Hua Jinyao's words. Most men hoped that their wives would compromise in front of their mothers. Fortunately, Hua Jinyao didn't ask for that. Hua Jinyao. In fact, if possible, I'd like to get along with your mother. But the premise is that she has to be reasonable. Don't you think so? Hua Jinyao narrowed his eyes and looked at her. You've become bold, haven't you? How dare you say that my mother is unreasonable? Su Qingsang blinked her eyes innocently. Hua Jinyao suddenly reached out and scratched her armpit a few times. Su Qingsang laughed and fell on the bed. I don't want it anymore. Her body curled up. Hua Jinyao didn't want to stop. She was afraid of tickles, so she couldn't help but want to avoid it. Hua Jinyao looked at her blushing face and couldn't help but lean on her. Su Qingsang stopped laughing. She looked at Hua Jinyao and blushed. What are you doing? What do you think I'm doing? Hua Jinyao's eyes were deep. Honey, we've been separated for a few days. Yes, not a few days. Su Qingsang swallowed. I haven't showered yet. Get up first. It's okay. Let's shower together. Hua Jinyao's hand reached for the hem of her clothes. We've showered together anyway. Su Qingsang was even more embarrassed. Before the desire came, she thought of something else. Not that, right? Su Qingsang put her hands in front of his chest. Her breath was a little unstable. I'm in danger these days. Yes. Hua Jinyao put his mouth close to her ear and whispered, I specially went to buy it. Su Qingsang blinked. You planned it, didn't you? Yes. Hua Jinyao admitted it openly. I wanted to plot against you. He sealed her mouth with a kiss so that Su Qingsang couldn't speak. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. That night was naturally full of passion. It was a little late when Su Qingsang got up in the morning. She hadn't had a good rest during this period of time. Li Qianxue really wanted to accompany her. The mother and daughter slept together every day. Li Qianxue always had endless questions to ask Su Qingsang. She liked to listen to Su Qingsang talk about her past and wanted to know more about her. As a result, Su Qingsang went to bed very late every day but got up very early. She turned over on the bed and faintly felt that her body was uncomfortable. She gritted her teeth and frowned. That bastard Hua Jinyao didn't know how to control himself. She didn't see him in the room. Su Qingsang looked at the time and quickly got up. In the study on the second floor, Hua Jinyao told Old Master Hua about Su Qingsang's background. He didn't have anything to hide in front of his grandfather. In fact, Old Master Hua was almost a smart person. When he came to visit his in-laws, his mother and grandfather came, but his father didn't come. What would people think? Old Master Hua felt that something was wrong when he heard it yesterday. Today, he understood. I see. Chapter 467. Hua Jinyao thought of what had happened before Su Qingsang and Li Qianxue met. For more than 20 years, she knew that her daughter was by her side, but she didn't acknowledge her. It's understandable that she was agitated. That's why I asked her to stay with her mother for a few days. Grandpa, if you want to blame someone for this, blame me. I don't blame you. Old Master Hua didn't expect such a twist. Speaking of which, since that's the reason, they still came to visit in such a hurry. The fact that they're in such a hurry to visit shows how much they value their daughter. Of course. Hua Jinyao nodded and thought of what Su Qingsang had said yesterday. Qingsang's mother and grandfather just acknowledged her. In fact, they were very reluctant to let her go. But they also took our family's situation into consideration, so they allowed her to come back so quickly. Speaking of which, the Li family was already very considerate of Su Qingsang. They didn't come yesterday because there's a custom in Lin City that we can't visit in-laws in the afternoon. Although we don't have that custom, It shows their respect for our family and the importance they attach to this marriage. That's right. Old Master Hua nodded. Don't worry. I know about it. Hua Jinyao breathed a sigh of relief. Grandpa, in fact, Qing Sang didn't want me to tell my family. Before that, she didn't want to acknowledge her mother. It was really because of a series of coincidences. The result is like this. Qing Sang also thought about acknowledging Xiang Kaiping and living with her for the rest of her life. If Li Qianxue hadn't come back when we came back a few days ago, these things wouldn't have happened. Jinyao, you don't have to explain. I know what you mean. I also know that your mother is a person. In fact, she is very subjective and arbitrary most of the time. But don't worry, you don't have to take what she said to heart. Hua Jinyao nodded. He didn't take it to heart. In fact, he was afraid that Lu Tongjia would keep blaming Su Qingsang for not coming back with him for the new year. He could ignore it. After all, he had known Lu Tongjia's attitude towards him for so many years. But he didn't want Su Qingsang to be blamed by Lu Tongjia for this matter in the future. I know that you're afraid that your mother will bully Qingsang in the future. Don't worry. Your mother is just a sharp-tongued person. In fact, she can't do anything. If that day really comes, I will stop her. Grandpa, thank you. Without old Master Hua, there would be more problems in the family. All right, you brat, you don't have to be so polite with me. Old Master Hua looked at Hua Jinyao. His eyes lit up. If you really want to thank me, then I'll thank you. Give birth to a fat great-grandson with Qingsang as soon as possible. I'm very happy. Don't worry. Sooner or later. Old Master, the Li family is here. While they were talking, Uncle Zhang came upstairs and told Old Master Hua and Hua Jinyao that the Li family had arrived. Hua Jinyao and Old Master Hua didn't waste any time and quickly went downstairs. Yang Wenchang was the one who went to pick them up. After picking them up, he called Hua Jinyao. As soon as they entered the courtyard, Hua Jinyao went downstairs. Li Yongfeng had met Old Master Hua a few times many years ago. After that, the two of them developed their own careers in different places. This was the first time they had seen each other in decades. Brother Yongfeng. Old Master Hua was very friendly when he saw Old Master Li. As soon as Old Master Li and Li Qianxue entered the door, he took the initiative to greet them. I didn't expect that the two of us would have a chance to become in-laws. Isn't that so? Old Master Li was also quite emotional. When I heard that Qingsang married into your family, I said that she was a lucky girl. If you ask me, Jinyao is more lucky. Old Master Hua wasn't being polite, but in Old Master Li's eyes, it was just being polite. However, he wasn't being polite at all. I also think that Qingsang is very good. If she hadn't married Jinyao so early, I really wouldn't want to let her go so early. Old Master Hua had heard Hua Jinyao's words just now, so he naturally knew what Old Master Li meant. Of course. If I had a granddaughter as good as Qingsang, I wouldn't want her to marry too early. Is this Qingsang's mother? As Old Master Hua spoke, his eyes turned to Li Qianxue. Li Qianxue stepped forward, smiled at Old Master Hua, and reached out at the same time. Hello, Old Master Hua. I'm Li Qianxue. I've heard Dad mention you a long time ago. Today, I see that you really live up to your reputation. You're too kind. Old Master Hua led the two of them to the living room and sat down. Li Qianxue handed over the gifts she had picked before. Look, it's good that you're here. Why do you need to give me gifts? Old Master Hua asked Hua Jinyao to accept the gifts. Li Qianxue hadn't seen her daughter for a day, so she couldn't help but look around. Qingsang came back yesterday and went to bed a little late. She's still sleeping now. Hua Jinyao explained. Li Qianxue couldn't help but take another look at him. In the past, Qingsang slept late, but she didn't wake up late. He must be tired, right? Grandpa? As they spoke, Su Qingsang came downstairs. Qingsang, look at you. Li Qianxue was naturally happy to see her daughter, but she still had to say, why did you sleep so late? You're already married, so you shouldn't sleep late. I know. It's okay. Qingsang just got home yesterday. It's normal for her to sleep a little longer when she's tired. Old Master Hua tried to smooth things over. He looked at Su Qingsang and said in a friendly manner, Qingsang used to be very diligent. She would wake up early every day to practice boxing with me. That's because you think too highly of her. Li Qianxue reached out to Su Qingsang and gestured for her to sit down. Su Qingsang was about to step forward when Hua Jinyao suddenly grabbed her hand. Mom, Qingsang hasn't had breakfast yet. Let him have his breakfast first, then come back. You child. Why didn't you say that you didn't have breakfast? Li Qianshue's heart ached. Go eat. Let's have a chat with old Master Hua. Okay. Su Qingsang glanced at Hua Jinyao, squeezed his palm, and went to the dining room. After she left, Li Qianxue looked at old Master Hua and said, Look at this child. She's so happy to see us. She even forgot to eat. Don't worry. This is an accident. I usually prepare breakfast for her. Hua Jinyao was talking about the time when the two of them lived together in Lin City. Li Qianxue also knew that Hua Jinyao would take good care of his daughter. There was nothing to worry about. Speaking of which, Qingsang has really troubled you to take care of her. It's no trouble at all. I'm Qingsang's husband. It's my duty to take care of her. You're her husband. It's your duty to take care of her. She's your wife. Isn't it also her duty to take care of you? A somewhat cold voice sounded, accompanied by the sound of footsteps. Lu Tongjia went downstairs and glared at Hua Jinyao. He really forgot his mother after having a wife. She had never heard him mention taking care of his parents in his life. He was willing to take care of a woman in his hands, afraid that she would be hungry and cold. As soon as she appeared, Old Master Li and Li Qianxue both looked at Lu Tongjia. Her words were too rude. Li Qianshue's brows slightly furrowed, but she didn't act up immediately. That's the reason. Since Qingsang is married to Hua Jinyao, the two of them naturally have to take care of each other. Take care of each other? Lu Tongjia sneered. I didn't see that. I saw that Hua Jinyao has always been taking care of your daughter, right? You said he wouldn't come back for the new year. What did he say he would take care of you? He said he would come back for the new year, but he didn't come back. It seems to be to accompany you. I don't understand, and now I want to ask. Is it the rule in Lin City that a married daughter is the same as if she's not married? She can do whatever she wants? Doesn't she have to worry about what her husband's family thinks? As soon as she appeared, Li Qianxue roughly guessed her identity. What she said now made Li Qianxue even more certain. You're my in-law, right? Knowing that this was her daughter's mother-in-law, Li Qianxue had a faint smile on her face. There was a bit of alienation in her smile, but it was also quite polite. That's what you're saying. But I think that even if this daughter gets married, it's still the flesh that fell from her mother's body. It doesn't make sense for her to care about what her husband's family thinks and ignore her mother's family after getting married. I think you also have a mother's family, don't you? It's not like you don't care when something happens to your mother's family. You just treat yourself as a member of the Hua family, not a daughter of your mother's family. Don't you think so? Now I finally know who Su Qingsang's sharp tongue resembles. As expected, like mother like daughter. Lu Tongjia had no words to refute, so she could only retort. Tongjia. Old Master Hua couldn't listen to it anymore. What are you talking about? Dad. You don't have to protect outsiders like this. I just want to ask, did I say something wrong? Did Jinyao marry Su Qingsang because they were from a higher position? Has Jinyao been accommodating Su Qingsang since they got married? Jinyao went so far away from Lin City to develop his career for her. Then he stayed there and didn't come back. I actually didn't know that I had married a wife and brought her into the family. Or did my son become a live-in son-in-law? Tongjia. Don't talk too much. Old Master Hua saw that Li Qianxue didn't look too good, so his voice sank. She wanted Lu Tongjia to stop talking. Lu Tongjia didn't want to let it go so easily. She still wanted to speak, but Li Qianxue, who was beside her, couldn't bear to listen anymore. She had always known that Hua Jinyao was good to his daughter, but she also believed that Su Qingsang was good to him when she didn't know it. After all, feelings were mutual. However, Lu Tongjia made it sound like everything was Su Qingsang's fault. When she recognized Su Qingsang, she had thought that she wouldn't let Su Qingsang suffer. This would be even more so. Since my in-laws are so dissatisfied with my daughter, why don't you go ahead and take care of her? Why don't I bring her back and educate her properly? Chapter 468. Li Qinshue's words were very blunt. In her opinion, the Hua family was a good family, but the Li family wasn't bad either. Moreover, she really didn't like Lu Tongjia's aggressive attitude. Before she acknowledged Su Qingsang, she had thought that with Su Qingsang's background, she would probably be despised if she married into the Hua family. At that time, she was in the mood to watch a play. Now that she had acknowledged Su Qingsang as her daughter, she couldn't bear to see others despise her daughter. Not only her, but old Master Li also couldn't stand it anymore. His daughter was married to the Hua family, not sold to them. Moreover, the situation at that time was special, so it was understandable that Su Qingsang stayed. She didn't say that she didn't want to go back to Rong City on purpose. Lu Tongjia's words were really disgusting. However, old Master Li's status was different, so it was not appropriate for him to argue with the younger generation. However, Li Qinshui was different. She could retaliate. What? Are you threatening me? Lu Tongjia didn't expect such an attitude from Li Qinshui. Her face darkened. Fine. I beg, Hua Jinyao interrupted Lu Tongjia. His deep eyes stared straight at Lu Tongjia's face. Without saying anything else, he just stared at her. Lu Tongjia felt a little scared under her son's stare. However, he was unwilling to admit defeat just like that. His expression darkened. What? Am I wrong? Lu Tongjia's expression was unfriendly. I don't like a woman who only cares about her family, not her husband's family. Tongjia. Old Master Hua's face darkened. He didn't expect Lu Tongjia to be so rude to the Li family. Am I wrong? Lu Tongjia glanced at the father and daughter of the Li family. She's just an illegitimate daughter, but she makes herself seem like the daughter of a rich family. What is this? Or is it because they see our family status and want to get close to us? Is that why you're doing this on purpose? Do you think you can scare me? Isn't it? Su Qingsang is my biological daughter. She is not an illegitimate daughter. Li Qinshui looked at Lu Tongjia and said righteously, I only found out about it recently. Back when I was in the hospital, something happened that caused my daughter to be switched. Qingsang was his biological daughter. She didn't return to Rong City immediately because she wanted to reunite with me. But in your eyes, it's just spending 2 more days with me. How did it become a heinous crime? She's your daughter? That's right. Li Qinshui nodded. Her voice was not at all polite. Qingsang is my biological daughter. As far as I am concerned, she is the best in the world. If my in-laws don't like her, then it doesn't matter. I just recognized her, and I can't wait for her to stay by my side for a while longer. Lu Tongjia sneered. She didn't believe it. In her eyes, Li Qinshui and Hua Jinyao were here because Su Qingsang had connections with the Hua family. Therefore, in order to obtain more benefits, they were willing to lower their status and recognize an illegitimate daughter as their own daughter. That's great. Anyway, it's not like no one wants our Jinyao. Take your daughters with you. Jinyao will naturally find someone better. Lu Tongjia. The last sentence was said by Hua Mingguang. No one knew when he had arrived. He looked at Lu Tongjia with disapproval. Li Qinshui couldn't take it lying down. She stood up and looked at Lu Tongjia. Is what my in-laws said true? If it's true, then we'll take Qingsang with us today. Of course. Enough. Old Master Hua couldn't listen to it anymore. He glared at Lu Tongjia. Sit back down. If you don't feel comfortable here, you can go back to your room. Dad, are you kicking me out? No one is kicking you out. Old Master Hua's expression was quite unpleasant. I just want to tell you that if you really don't know how to talk, you don't have to. Lu Tongjia was so angry that her chest heaved violently. Can I say it? He went out and told me that he was getting married. Did he ask for my permission? Did I agree? Mom. Hua Jinyao finally spoke. He looked at Lu Tongjia with a complicated look in his eyes and said in a low voice, I'm the one who's getting married, and I'm also the one who's going to spend the rest of my life with Qingsang. I don't think I need your permission to marry anyone. You've grown up, so you don't take me seriously anymore. Am I right? Tongjia. Hua Mingguang said, that's enough. Sit down. Do you want people to laugh at you? He glanced at Hua Jinyao again. Don't talk too much. He turned to old Master Hua and said, You're Uncle Li, aren't you? I've heard my father mention you. Old Master Li's attitude was a little cold. After what happened just now, both he and Li Qianxue could see that Su Qingsang might not be as good as she appeared to be in this family. In-laws, my wife is a straightforward person. Sometimes she speaks too directly. Don't take it to heart. In fact, we couldn't be more satisfied with this marriage. Don't worry, it's not like what you think. Hua Mingguang was the only one who believed what he said. No one else believed it at all. Li Qianxue was also experienced. Hearing that, she smiled faintly. It's good that you're satisfied. We're also satisfied with Jinyao. But it's also because Jinyao has been telling us how satisfied his family is with this marriage. These young people don't understand. If a marriage can't be blessed by parents and family, then two people won't necessarily be happy together. Don't you think so? Lu Tongjia wanted to lose her temper again because of her words, but under old Master Hua's glare, she had to remain silent. But the more he did so, the more uncomfortable she felt. The more she felt suffocated. That's true, so we are very optimistic about Jinyao and Qingsang's marriage. Hua Mingguang was lying through his teeth, but no one exposed him at this time. I've talked to old Master Li before. We're going to hold a new wedding for Jinyao and Qingsang in Rong City. On one hand, it's to let our relatives recognize them, and on the other hand, it's to let everyone know Qingsang's identity. In the future, we can avoid unnecessary misunderstandings. As soon as he said this, Li Qianxue and old Master Li looked much better. After all, Su Qingsang was already married to Hua Jinyao, and the two of them seemed to have a good relationship. They didn't really want to take Su Qingsang away. That's a good idea. Speaking of which, we have some partners in Rong City, and we also have some relatives. When the time comes, we can call all of them to make it more lively. Hua Jinyao frowned. He obviously didn't accept this idea. There's no need. Su Qingsang didn't know when she came out of breakfast, but she happened to hear the last two words. She walked up to Hua Jinyao and stood still. She smiled at him and turned to face Li Qianxue. Mom, Grandpa, Dad, there's no need for a wedding. Jinyao and I are not people who pursue those external forms. We can still hold another wedding. Old Master Hua thought a little more. After all, the Hua family is a little famous in Rong City. We should let them all come and meet our eldest granddaughter-in-law. Grandpa. Su Qingsang felt tired after holding a wedding. If she had to hold another one, she would be even more tired. Thank you, Grandpa. I know you feel bad for me, but I really don't think it's necessary. If you really don't think it's appropriate, why don't you pick a time and invite all your relatives over for dinner? Introduce them and we'll get to know each other. Then it's decided. Hua Mingguang finally made the decision. It just so happens that your great-uncle has retired and is in Rong City. And your great-aunt. Pick a time and invite everyone to dinner and get to know each other. Since you're here, stay for a few more days. I heard from Jinyao that you're staying in a hotel now. How can we do that? I think it's better to let Wenchang move your luggage over and stay directly at our house. Anyway, there are guest rooms at home. I'll have someone clean them up later. Hua Mingguang seized the opportunity and said. Old Master Li smiled. There's no need to stay here. We will also feel uncomfortable. Anyway, Qianxue has already bought a villa. It's not far from here. When we came yesterday, she already had it cleaned up. We'll move in later. Well, you're too polite. Hua Mingguang was a little helpless. If others find out, they will say that we're not good hosts. It's okay. It's not far from here. It'll be convenient for us to come and visit you. Li Qianxue would not live at the Hua family's house. She finally realized that the other members of the Hua family might seem nice, but Lu Tongjia, Su Qingsang's mother-in-law, was really not easy to get along with. She glanced at Su Qingsang. She was not liked by her mother-in-law as soon as she married into the family. She was afraid that there would be some twists and turns in the future. She only hoped that Hua Jinyao could be a little more responsible and protect her. Lu Tongjia watched the group of people discussing excitedly and sat alone on the side angrily. She felt that she could not suppress the anger in her heart. She glanced coldly at Su Qingsang, stood up, and turned to leave. Her abrupt movement attracted everyone present to look in her direction. Hua Mingguang watched Lu Tongjia leave just like that. There was some disapproval in his eyes, but it was unlikely that he would embarrass her in front of the Li family. "I'm sorry, my wife is a little short-tempered. I've made a fool of myself." "It's okay." Li Qianxue didn't pay attention to Lu Tongjia anymore. There is always a process for a daughter-in-law and mother-in-law to accept each other. You'll get better as you slowly interact with them. That's right. Hua Mingguang could only agree at this moment. Qingsang is a good child. Jiniao's mother just hasn't come around yet. When she comes around, she will accept Qingsang. That's good. Li Qianxue looked at Su Qingsang. She didn't mind letting the Hua family know some things at all. "Qingsang is my daughter, but I haven't been able to acknowledge her because of the wrong baby. Now that I've acknowledged her, I want to give her the best in the world. I'm worried that she's not doing well and won't tell me. So it's inevitable that I'm a little nervous. Please don't laugh at me, in-law." Chapter 469. Old Master Hua's words were a guarantee. Li Qianxue and Old Master Li were relieved. Without Lu Tongjia, the rest was much smoother. Old Master Hua and Hua Mingguang stayed at the Hua mansion for lunch. Lu Tongjia went out and didn't come back. After lunch, the father and daughter couldn't stay any longer. They refused Old Master Hua's offer to let them stay and asked Su Qingsang to accompany them out for a walk. At this time, Rong City was almost covered in snow. That was to say, looking at the snow. Fortunately, Old Master Li and Li Qianxue didn't care what they were looking at. They only cared about who was accompanying them. They originally just wanted Su Qingsang to spend more time with them. At this point, Su Qingsang could still do it. After taking Su Qingsang to see the villa they bought for her, Old Master Li and Li Qianxue stayed in the hotel for another day before moving in. It was about a 15-minute drive from the Hua mansion. It could be considered to be in the same villa area. If Su Qingsang and Hua Jinyao wanted to live here, they would be able to live a good life. Then it would be convenient for them to return to the Hua mansion. Hua Jinyao had something to do at the company today, so Su Qingsang accompanied them. Li Qianxue put away the things and took Su Qingsang to tour the small villa. "You said that you don't like houses that are too big. This is not big. The 3-story villa has 3 halls and 7 rooms. There is also a living room. It's enough for you two to live here. There is a small garden in front and 2 garages in the back. I also bought you a car." Li Qianxue pointed to the back as she spoke. "There are 2 cars. You can drive whichever you want. It will be more convenient for you to go to work." "Mom. Thank you." She was so thoughtful that Su Qingsang didn't know what to say. "Don't thank me. You just like to be polite." Li Qianxue patted her hand. "I have nothing else to give you." "No, you have already given me a lot." She didn't mean property. Li Qianxue gave her life and brought her into this world. Before they met, she didn't feel too sad for her. At least he had grown up safely. After reuniting with him, everything she did was from her own point of view. Su Qingsang originally wanted to be close to Li Qianxue, but now she was even more touched. "Qingsang." Li Qianxue was actually a little worried. "I observed your mother-in-law the other day. She's not easy to get along with. I'm just afraid that you'll suffer losses in the future." "Mom. Don't worry. My mother-in-law only looks fierce on the surface. Actually, she can't do anything to me. After all, the rest of the family is on my side." As long as Old Master Hua and Hua Jinyao were on her side, she wouldn't be afraid even if Lu Tongjia was dissatisfied with her. Li Qianxue nodded, but she was still worried. He patted Su Qingsang's hand. "That's for the best." "But why do I feel that Hua Jinyao doesn't have a good relationship with his mother?" It wasn't because of Su Qingsang, but because Hua Jinyao and Lu Tongjia had never been on good terms. No matter what, Li Qianxue was someone who had been in the business world for more than 20 years. She still had a good eye for things like this. "I think so." Su Qingsang actually noticed it too. "Hua Jinyao doesn't have a good relationship with his mother. It's not because of me. Didn't you ask why they don't have a good relationship?" I didn't ask. Su Qingsang wanted to ask, but Hu Jinyao obviously didn't want to talk about it, so she didn't ask. You have to ask about this kind of thing, don't you? Li Qianxue was worried, so she couldn't help but think too much. If you don't find out the reason, what if you accidentally step on the line between Hu Jinyao and his mother next time? I'm afraid Hu Jinyao will blame you, right? I don't think so. Su Qingsang was actually very curious. It's not important. I'll ask him about it later. Li Qianxue nodded and thought of something else. By the way, will you still go to work after we leave? Yes. Su Qingsang was about to tell Li Qianxue about this. Before I came here, my supervisor, Director Zhang Qiubai, wrote a recommendation letter for me. She has also told the people at the first hospital of the city. I'm going to report for work tomorrow. Tomorrow? Li Qianxue suddenly couldn't accept it. Tomorrow? So soon? I'm just going to report for work, Su Qingsang explained lightly. As for the time of work, it has to be decided. There should be people in the department. I came here suddenly, so they have to think about how to arrange for me, right? How to arrange? I believe in your ability. Li Qianxue suddenly thought of something else. I also know a few hospital directors. If you're not used to it, you can tell me directly. I think you can go directly to the hospital opened by my friend. Mom. Su Qingsang put her hand on her forehead. Why did all of them want her to go through the back door? Don't worry. Since you believe in your daughter's ability, you will know that no matter where I am, I can do well. Li Qianxue nodded. I believe you. Let's go and find your grandfather. Okay. When Su Qingsang returned to the Hua family, she heard that the Hua family had set a dinner date for tomorrow. This time, not only would Hu Jinyao's great-uncle, Hu Yangyuan, and his children come, but also his great-aunt, Hu Yangxiu, would come with her children. When she returned to her room at night, Su Qingsang finally had time to ask Hu Jinyao about his relatives. She had almost forgotten about it after hearing it last time. Honey, are you nervous? Hu Jinyao held her body on his lap. Looking at her serious face, he couldn't help but want to laugh. Don't be silly. I'm serious. She had been with Li Qianxue for the past few days and had listened to a lot of her advice. If she had only married into an ordinary family, with a simple population and a simple environment, she wouldn't have had to do this. However, she married Hu Jinyao, and the Hua family was a large family. Not to mention that Hu Jinyao was the eldest grandson of the Hua family. Just as Li Qianxue said, she would have to bear the responsibility of her position in the future. Before that, let her start by understanding the relatives of the Hua family. I told you before, my grandfather has a biological brother and a biological sister. In fact, the old man also had some collateral relatives, such as cousins and so on. However, they were all in their hometown, so they didn't have much contact. My great-uncle Hu Yangyuan only had 2 sons. Now, both of his sons are high-ranking officials. Hu Yangyuan's 2 children were called Hu Mingfan and Hu Mingqi. The 2 brothers had inherited his acumen and ambition in the political arena. Now, they were developing well. Stop, wait a minute, speak slowly. I can't remember. Chapter 470. How is it complicated? Hu Jinyao took her hand and said, It's not complicated at all. You say it's complicated? I haven't talked about my great-aunt's family yet. Hu Jinyao squeezed Su Qingsang's hand. He was afraid that she couldn't match him. He took out his phone and showed her the photos he had taken earlier. Hu Mingfan had a son and a daughter, while Hu Mingqi had 2 sons. They were all of the same generation as Hu Jinyao, and none of them were married yet. His great-aunt, Hu Yangxiu, was married to the commander of a military region. She was the youngest of grandfather Hu's 3 siblings, but she had 2 sons and a daughter. She only gave birth to her youngest son when she was nearly 40 years old. As a result, her son was about the same age as Hu Jinyao. Her uncle and aunt were already married. My aunt is also married to a soldier and is currently with my uncle in the garrison. His eldest uncle was also stationed in the army. He had a pair of twin sons. He was only 15 years old this year, so he could be considered one of the younger generation in the family. Stop. I'm dizzy. Even if there were photos with so many people, it would be impossible to remember them all. Hua Jinyao, can I wait until the party? Remember to remind me when the time comes? Hua Jinyao pinched Su Qingsang's nose. If you can't remember, then don't. I will remind you when the time comes. Yes. Su Qingsang nodded. So many relatives, including your cousins. They're not in the same place as you, so you probably don't have many opportunities to interact with them, right? Not many. My great-uncle used to be a high-ranking official. I used to go to his house for summer vacations, but it was boring. Because he was very busy, there were many people coming and going in his house every day. After that, I didn't like going anymore. What about Grandaunt? Grandaunt? My great-aunt and her husband lived in the army, and it was not a place that ordinary people could enter. But I've been there a few times. He has a good relationship with my two uncles. Alright. Hua Jinyao suddenly turned over and laid on top of Su Qingsang's body. My eldest uncle had a pair of twin sons. Should we also try our best? Give birth to a pair of twins. It would be even better if they were a boy and a girl. Su Qingsang patted him and said, in your dreams. Twins? Whether to give birth to one or two, whether to give birth to a boy or a girl, how could she decide? You don't believe me? Hua Jinyao put his forehead against hers. You don't believe in my abilities? Don't. Su Qingsang hadn't decided if she wanted to have a child so early. Hua Jinyao turned her body around and trapped her firmly in his arms. You don't believe me, do you? Looks like I've been too relaxed with you these days. It's time to let you know how powerful I am. Hua Jinyao. Su Qingsang twisted her body and tried to dodge, but Hua Jinyao's hand was like an iron clamp. She couldn't break free at all. Before she could react, her lips were already sealed by him. His words disappeared from her lips just like that. However, in the end, Hua Jinyao still got up to get the condoms from the drawer. Under Su Qingsang's surprised gaze, he kissed her earlobe. Honey, if you want to give birth, then give birth. If you don't want to, we won't. Su Qingsang's eyes were watery. She suddenly leaned over and kissed Hua Jinyao on the cheek. Honey, you're finished. I won't let you go tonight. Su Qingsang blushed, but she still fought back. I'd like to see how you won't let me go. Compared with the enthusiasm in Hua Jinyao's room, the atmosphere in Hua Mingguang and Lu Tongjia's room was much colder. Hua Mingguang looked at Lu Tongjia with a look of disapproval. Uncle and aunt will come the day after tomorrow. How long do you want to be angry? These days, as long as Su Qingsang was at home, Lu Tongjia would not be at home. It didn't matter if it happened once or twice, but it would take a long time. Old Master Hua would probably be dissatisfied. Who's angry? Lu Tongjia had already taken a shower and was applying skincare products to her face. Her expression was not good. I just don't like her. What's wrong? No matter how much you don't like her, she's already with Hua Jinyao. Why do I have to what? Her biggest mistake was that she shouldn't have been with Hua Jinyao. Lu Tongjia put down the bottle in her hand and turned to Hua Mingguang. Did you see how hard Hua Jinyao was protecting her? Do you know how angry I was? Tongjia. As her husband, Hua Mingguang certainly knew what she was thinking. It's been so long and the child has grown up. No. Lu Tongjia's eyes suddenly turned red. I can't. Hua Mingguang, I'm telling you, I'll never be able to get over this. Hua Mingguang frowned. He got up and walked to her. Tongjia, just let it go. I said I can't let it go. I can't do it. Lu Tongjia suddenly grabbed his hand. Why can he act like nothing happened? Marry a wife, have children, and live happily? Hua Mingguang gently patted Lu Tongjia and looked at her like a little girl. But he's your son after all. Your biological son. What can you do if you don't let it go? Lu Tongjia pushed his hand away and stared at Hua Mingguang with tears on her face. You let it go? You can let it go? I'm telling you. I can't. I'll never let it go. In my heart, Hua Jinyao will always be a sinner. He let me down. He'll never let me down. Hua Mingguang sighed in his heart. He knew that Lu Tongjia couldn't let it go. He put his hand on her shoulder. Tongjia, it's been so many years. Hua Jinyao has grown up. He's also sensible. No matter how much you hate him, it can't change the fact that he's your son. How can a mother and son hate each other overnight? I don't have a son like that. Lu Tongjia's voice was filled with hatred. I don't have a son who has no conscience. Don't try to persuade me. I'm telling you, I'll never forgive him in my life. Not ever. Lu Tongjia's soft cry echoed in the room. Hua Mingguang didn't speak. He looked helpless and slightly sad. Su Qingsang almost couldn't get up the next morning. When she got up, she looked at the bruises on her body and cursed in her heart. She felt that it was all her fault. After all, if she hadn't done that, Hua Jinyao wouldn't have gone crazy. She tidied up and went downstairs. Hua Jinyao had already gone to work. Old Master Hua saw her coming down and waved at her. Qingsang, are you going to the hospital today? Yes. Su Qingsang nodded. City First Hospital. Let Lin drive you there. No need. I'll drive there myself. Li Qianxue bought 2 cars, one of which was a sports car. Su Qingsang naturally didn't want to drive it. However, she had already tested the other SUV yesterday. Its performance was good in all aspects. She planned to drive it to work on weekdays. It just snowed here, so some roads might be a little slippery. Southerners might not be used to driving here. If you drive by yourself, remember to be careful. Got it, Grandpa. I'll be careful. Su Qingsang was very grateful to Old Master Hua. He really treated her as his granddaughter-in-law. After leaving the house, Su Qingsang turned on the GPS. The scheduled check-in time was 10:30. There was still time for her to go. Su Qingsang walked into the hospital and smelled the familiar smell of disinfectant. She successfully found the gynecology department. The director here was Sun Huiya, Zhang Qiubai's classmate. Su Qingsang took the recommendation letter and found Sun Huiya. Su Qingsang, right? Sun Huiya looked at the recommendation letter in her hand and looked up at Su Qingsang. She was less than 50 years old, wore a pair of glasses, and looked very friendly. I'm Su Qingsang. I've heard my teacher mention you before. She told me to learn from you. I wouldn't dare to say that I'm learning. It's the world of you youngsters now. I've read the 2 papers you've published in the journal. Not bad, the younger generation will surpass us in time. Sun Huiya put down the recommendation letter in her hand and looked at Su Qingsang. Although Su Qingsang was her old classmate's favorite student, there were still some things that needed to be made clear. You might not know about our hospital. It's bigger than Lin City, and it receives more patients. He was usually tired as well. If you feel tired or busy, you have to think it through. If you think it's okay, I'll get someone to take you through the procedures. You'll start working in a few days. Don't worry, Teacher Sunday. Since I'm here, I'm a part of the first hospital. I'll work hard. I can tell. I've also heard your teacher talk about you. It's just that there are some things that we should say first. It's better than complaining later. Don't you think so? Understood. Su Qingsang nodded. Sun Huiya called someone over and took Su Qingsang to go through the admission procedures. This is my student, Zheng Qinyu. Let him take you there. Thank you, Teacher Sunday. Su Qingsang was a little surprised to see Zheng Qinyu. After all, there weren't many men who studied obstetrics and gynecology. Hello, my name is Su Qingsang. Hello, I'm Zheng Qinyu. After the 2 of them introduced themselves, Zheng Qinyu took Su Qingsang to the hospital to go through the procedures. He was tall and thin and looked very gentle. Are you Teacher Sun's student? In Su Qingsang's previous school, all the obstetrics and gynecology departments were women. This was the first time she had seen a man. Are you surprised to see a man studying gynecology? Zheng Qinyu saw the curiosity in Su Qingsang's eyes and joked. After all, there aren't many men who study this. A little. Su Qingsang nodded in agreement. There aren't many. It was the same reason why there weren't many female doctors who went to study andrology. I was the only one in my class. You don't know how miserable it was. I never dared to skip class in school. I would be called to answer questions every time. I think your teacher must pay special attention to you. I don't need special attention. After all, I'm the only one who pays attention to me. But after a long time, not only our teacher, but even the female students in my class don't treat me as a man anymore. Chapter 471. I can't help it even if I do. I've already jumped into a pit, haven't I? Zheng Qinyu's words made Su Qingsang laugh again. This colleague was quite interesting. While the two of them were talking, they arrived at the hospital office and completed the procedures. Because tomorrow was the weekend, they decided to start work next Monday. After coming out, she thanked Zheng Qinyu and left. Su Qingsang began to look forward to working here in the future. It seemed that the colleagues in this hospital were not difficult to get along with. She believed that they would be able to cooperate well in the future. Walking out of the hospital gate, Su Qingsang got into the car. As soon as she drove out of the hospital gate, she saw a thin man in front of her running in her direction. The figure quickly ran across the road. Before Su Qingsang could stop, the thin man was followed by a very tall man, who was running after him. Su Qingsang was about to step on the brake, but the man had already rushed to the front of her car. Su Qingsang was shocked. Just as she thought that she would crash into him, the man jumped directly in front of her car. Su Qingsang had no choice but to step on the brake. As soon as the car stopped, the man behind had already jumped forward with the force of the car. Next, she saw a special effects scene that could only be seen in movies. The man kicked the thin man in front of him and directly kicked him to the ground. Ouch! The thin man lay down. Before he could get up, the tall man had already stepped forward and stepped on him. At the same time, a woman from the other side of Su Qingsang's car ran over, panting. The woman panted and ran to the tall man's side. The man had already picked up a lady's bag from the thin man on the ground and handed it to the woman. Su Qingsang finally understood what was going on. It turned out that the tall man was acting bravely for a just cause. That thin man turned out to be a thief. Your bag. Thank you. Thank you. The woman took her bag and checked it. Everything is here. Thank you so much for today. She was panting as she spoke. Obviously, she had run all the way here. You're welcome. The tall man reached out, bent down, and easily picked up the thief. The moment he was picked up, he immediately cursed, "Bastard, you ruined my plan. Believe it or not, I won't be polite to you." The tall man twisted his hands behind his back. The thief screamed again. Let go. Who do you want to be rude to? I was wrong. Let go. When the thief saw the man's figure, he quickly begged for mercy. I have eyes but failed to recognize Mount Tai. Hero, please have mercy and let me go. Su Qingsang almost laughed out loud. Are all thieves nowadays so good at writing? It was really a pity to be a thief. Don't worry, when we get to the police station, I will naturally let you go. As the tall man spoke, he twisted the thief's arm and left. His movements were clean and efficient. After watching for a while, the onlookers dispersed. Su Qingsang looked at the scene in front of her. He clicked his tongue in his heart. How amazing! The skill. It was truly amazing. From the looks of it, that person should be an undercover police officer. Are all the police uncles so skilled now? As the car continued to move forward, Su Qingsang saw that the thief was still cursing, but the tall man kept twisting his hand and refused to let go. Because she was driving, Su Qingsang only took a quick glance through the rearview mirror. That man was quite handsome, wasn't he? His eyebrows were high, and his eyes were full of spirit. He looked resolute and stylish. Well, the police nowadays were not only skilled but also handsome. Indeed, all the handsome had been handed over to the country. Su Qingsang was in a good mood because of this incident, so she didn't forget to praise Hu Jinyao when she got home at night. It was all because of how handsome the police officer was and how skilled he was. The result of such praise was that Hu Jinyao was unhappy. He pressed Su Qingsang on the bed and gave her a good lesson, so she almost couldn't get out of bed the next morning. Su Qingsang went downstairs. There was no one in the living room. After going to the dining room for breakfast, she found that Hu Jinyao was playing chess with old Master Hua in the living room. You're up. Hu Jinyao looked at her and reached out to her. Have you had breakfast? Why don't you sleep a little longer? Su Qingsang glared at him. Why didn't he sleep a little longer? Weren't there guests coming today? How could she have the nerve to sleep in? Your mother went out again? Old Master Hua greeted Su Qingsang. His eyes returned to the chessboard and he put down a piece. Yes. They said that Qing Xinyun's mother is sick. My mother went to see her. Old Master Hua didn't say anything. Whether it was because he went to see Qing Xinyun's mother or because he didn't want to admit Su Qingsang's identity in front of so many relatives, they all knew. In fact, Su Qingsang also noticed that every time Old Master Li and Li Qinxue came, Lu Tongjia wasn't there. She really didn't expect Lu Tongjia to dislike her so much. She didn't seem to have offended her, did she? She looked at Hua Jinyao. If it wasn't because of her, then what did Hua Jinyao do? Why did he make Lu Tongjia dislike her son so much? With her grandfather around, Su Qingsang couldn't ask for the answer. Before the grandfather and grandson finished their game, the first guest had arrived. Hua Yangyuan and his wife, Gao Shulan. His eldest son, Hua Mingfan, and his wife, Jia Shibai, were also there. Their children were in another city. Their youngest son, Hua Mingqi, was currently in office and didn't come. However, his youngest grandson, Hua Ruifeng, came. He was younger than Hua Jinyao and had just graduated from university this year. He was wearing a pair of glasses and looked handsome and gentle. Su Qingsang followed behind Hua Jinyao and greeted the elders one by one. Hua Yangyuan and Gao Shulan both prepared gifts for Su Qingsang. Not only them, but Hua Mingfan and Jia Shibai also gave their own gifts. Although Hua Mingqi didn't come himself, Hua Ruifeng gave their gifts on behalf of his parents. Su Qingsang didn't expect to receive gifts. She couldn't refuse, so she accepted them under Old Master Hua's suggestion. They had just sat down and chatted for a while when Hua Jinyao's great-aunt, Hua Yangxiu, came. Great-aunt. Hua Jinyao stood up and greeted Hua Yangxiu. It was obvious that he was very close to this great-aunt. Her eldest daughter-in-law, Yi Qiuan, and her twin sons, Zhang Qinghao and Zhang Qingxian, came with her. Su Qingsang stood beside Hua Jinyao and greeted her great-aunt. Hua Yangxiu held Su Qingsang's hand and looked her up and down. Not bad. Jinyao has good taste this time. Look at this daughter-in-law, she's so beautiful. Su Qingsang blushed a little. Hua Yangxiu took out a box and put it in Su Qingsang's hand. Your great-uncle and uncle are in the army and didn't have time to come. Next time when you're free, you can come to our place and I'll take you to meet your relatives. Great-aunt, you're too polite. Su Qingsang had heard from Hua Jinyao that Hua Yangxiu's husband was a commander. His other two sons and daughter were all soldiers and didn't have holidays easily. She could understand. Yi Qiuan stepped forward and handed her a gift. Su Qingsang took the box from him. She felt that she was here to receive gifts today. Looking at the pile of boxes, she didn't need to open them to know that the things inside were valuable. She looked at Hua Jinyao with a meaningful look in her eyes. How could she return the gifts in the future with so many gifts? Hua Jinyao winked at her, indicating that she didn't need to be too nervous. These were all small gifts. After a while, Hua Mingliang's family and Hua Mingmei's family also arrived. A large group of people suddenly squeezed into the living room. It looked very lively. Where's Tongjia? After Hua Yangxiu sat down, she realized that she hadn't seen Hua Mingguang and his wife. She turned to Old Master Hua and asked about Lu Tongjia. As the eldest daughter-in-law of the Hua family, Hua Yangxiu had always been very satisfied with Lu Tongjia's way of doing things. In addition, she was a friend of Lu Tongjia's mother, so she especially valued this niece of hers. Only then did she realize that not only was Lu Tongjia absent, but Hua Mingguang was also absent. Big brother, where did the eldest and his wife go? Why aren't they here? The second son's family and the third son's family were all here. Why wasn't the eldest son here? A friend of my mother's is sick. She went to visit early in the morning. She hasn't come back yet. Hua Jinyao explained faintly, his voice was very soft. The others in the living room looked at each other and finally looked at Hua Jinyao. What about the in-laws? Hua Yangyuan changed the topic at the right time. They naturally knew about what happened between Lu Tongjia and Hua Jinyao. My mother and my grandfather are on the way. They'll be here soon. As soon as Su Qingsang finished speaking, Li Qinxue and Old Master Li arrived. Lu Tongjia and Hua Mingguang entered the door with them. Lu Tongjia didn't look too good, and Hua Mingguang stood beside her, expressionless. However, Li Qinshue's expression was even worse than Lu Tongjia's. It wasn't until she entered the door and saw the people in the living room and her daughter's concerned eyes that she forced the corners of her mouth to twitch, trying to make herself look normal. Lu Tongjia stood aside with obvious mockery in her eyes. Hua Mingguang put his hand on her shoulder, as if to comfort her silently. The situation in front of them was obviously not right. Su Qingsang blinked and stepped forward to hold Li Qinshue's hand. With the other hand, she held Old Master Li's arm. "Grandpa, Mom, you're here at the right time. Jin Yao's great-aunt and great-uncle are all here. Let me introduce them to you." Li Qinshu had been through a lot, after all. A few seconds was enough for her to adjust her expression. "I'm sorry. I was delayed on the way here, so I'm late. I'm really sorry." She saw the two elders sitting with Old Master Hua and guessed that they should be his great-uncle and great-aunt. They were considered Old Master Hua's peers, so naturally, she had to greet them first. She had always been very polite to the elders. Naturally, she was also being modest. Normal people would smile and smooth things over. After all, no one would really ask why Li Qinshu was delayed on the way here. Chapter 472. Hearing Li Qinshue's words, Lu Tongjia took a step forward and was about to speak. Hua Mingguang quickly grabbed her arm and took her in the direction of Hua Yangxiu and the others. "Uncle Aunt, I'm so sorry. I accompanied Tongjia to visit a friend, so we came back late. Uncle and Aunt, please don't mind. We're all family. You don't have to be so polite." Hua Yangyuan had been in the government for a long time, so his words were naturally watertight. "Sit down." Hua Yangxiu also spoke and gestured for the couple to sit down. However, Old Master Li and Li Qinshu hadn't sat down yet after greeting the two of them. Old Master Li's expression was a little strange. Old Master Hua also stood up and asked them to sit down. "Come, Brother Yongfeng, sit here." Old Master Li's expression eased a little and he sat down with Li Qinshu. Except for Hua Yangxiu and Hua Yangyuan, the rest of the people present were of the same generation as Li Qinshu. Hua Jinyao introduced them to each one of them. Li Qinshu always had a decent smile on her face, as if the ugly expression on her face when she entered the door was an illusion. In the eyes of the other relatives of the Hua family, Li Qinshu was naturally very decent. They looked at Su Qingsang, who was sitting next to Li Qinshu, and the two of them interacted with her from time to time. For Hua Yangxiu and Hua Yangyuan, this in-law looked very good. However, for people like Hua Mingliang and Hua Mingmei, who had always known that Su Qingsang was just an illegitimate daughter, the scene in front of them was suspicious. Hua Mingmei glanced at her brother and sister-in-law and found that Lu Tongjia didn't seem to be in a good mood. Occasionally, her eyes met with Li Qinshue's, and they weren't kind. After thinking about it, she understood what was going on. Su Qingsang was just an illegitimate daughter. Li Qinshu and Old Master Li must have come for the power of the Hua family. Uncle and Aunt didn't know the inside story, so they couldn't see it, but Lu Tongjia definitely knew. Hua Ming felt that she had thought of the key point, and when she looked at Su Qingsang again, her eyes were a little malicious. "Eldest brother's wife is called Qingsang, right? Look at me, I can't remember this name." She started by belittling Su Qingsang, which successfully made the people in the living room talk and form their own small circles to look at her and Su Qingsang at the same time. Su Qingsang didn't respond but glanced at Hua Mingmei. His gaze was indifferent, not taking her provocation to heart. "Qingsang, I think I heard you call the person next to you, Mom?" "Yes," Su Qingsang said calmly. "This is my mother. But I heard from Hua Jinyao that your mother is someone else." In fact, everyone knew that Su Qingsang was actually an illegitimate daughter. Hua Mingmei rolled her eyes and said faintly, "Why are you calling me Mom now?" The sarcastic and suggestive voice made Su Qingsang and Li Qinshu frown at the same time. Hua Jinyao's face darkened, and his eyes turned extremely cold. "I've already explained this to the old man. After Qingsang was born, the hospital mistakenly switched her. I didn't know until later that Qingsang was my biological daughter. Since Qingsang and I are mother and daughter, and we've acknowledged each other, it's natural for her to call me Mom. Li Qianxue said calmly. Although the others didn't believe it, it was unlikely that they would question it at this time. Only Lu Tongjia, who was a little far from Li Qianxue, looked a little cold, and the corners of her mouth and eyebrows were full of sarcasm. Hua Mingguang looked at his wife, pressed her arm, and gave her a look of approval. Oh, the wrong switch. You didn't know until later, so you acknowledged each other? Hua Mingmei dragged out the last word and looked like she suddenly understood. You acknowledged each other after Su Qingsang married Hua Jinyao. This is a good time to acknowledge each other. It's really good. She faked a smile and looked at the other people present. You didn't find out sooner or later. You didn't find out until Hua Jinyao married her. It's really good to find out. Everyone present was smart. Hearing Hua Mingmei's words, how could they not understand? It was nothing more than that the Li family recognized the illegitimate daughter as their biological daughter because they saw that the inconspicuous illegitimate daughter had married into the Hua family. Old Master Li's face darkened because of Hua Mingmei's words. However, he was older than Hua Mingmei, so he naturally couldn't lower himself to argue with her. Su Qingsang's face darkened. Her lips moved and she was about to speak. However, the back of her hand was pressed down by Li Qianxue. This is... Li Qianxue pressed her hand to stop her from speaking, but her gorgeous eyes were staring straight at Hua Mingmei's face. Hua Jinyao had introduced her before, but Li Qianxue seemed to have forgotten it. I'm Jinyao's aunt. Hua Mingmei knew that she was doing it on purpose, and her face darkened even more. Oh, you're just my aunt. I thought you were Jinyao's mother. Li Qianxue smiled, but she didn't finish her sentence. What do you mean? Nothing. After all, Jinyao's mother hasn't said anything yet. You're in charge, so I'm just asking. It was obvious that he was scolding Hua Mingmei for being a busybody. Hua Mingmei was enraged by Li Qianxue's words. She blushed and glared at Li Qianxue. What? Can't I ask? I've seen a lot of people like you. Wasn't he just eyeing the power of the Hua family? For the sake of money, you even accepted an illegitimate daughter. Aren't you afraid of losing face? Everyone present watched the scene unfold before them. Both the old and the young didn't speak, and Hua Yifan and the other juniors looked interested. Mingmei. Grandfather Hua couldn't stand it anymore. What nonsense are you talking about? Did I say something wrong? Hua Mingmei glanced at old Master Hua. Although our family said that we don't interfere with our children's freedom of marriage, we don't want to interfere with them. But to have such in-laws is really... He didn't say the last two words, but everyone understood what he meant. I don't think it's embarrassing. Li Qianxue saw that Hua Jinyao was about to speak, but she spoke first. Her voice was still calm. You know who your daughter is, but you don't acknowledge her. That's embarrassing. As for you accepting a daughter for the sake of power, people say that if you have Buddha in your heart, everything you see is Buddha. If you have a devil in your heart, everything you see is a devil. And you must be the kind of person who would accept a daughter for the sake of power, right? What did you say? Hua Mingmei had never been mocked like this in her life. She stood up immediately. I won't repeat my good words. Even though Li Qianxue was sitting, she didn't lose in terms of aura. You don't look very old, but your ears are starting to fail. You should go and have a checkup. She had to keep a low profile when she was in someone else's territory. But Hua Mingmei's words were too harsh. If she didn't stand up for her daughter, how could she have a foothold in the Hua family in the future? Hua Mingmei's husband, Wei Nantian, had been silent until now. He understood that his wife couldn't take advantage of him. He pulled Hua Mingmei's arm and signaled for her to stop talking. Hua Mingmei shook off his hand. She was so angry that her chest was heaving up and down. She suddenly turned to look at old Master Hua. Father, are you just going to watch someone bully your daughter? Old Master Hua didn't say anything, but Li Qianxue laughed. Why do I bully you? It's really interesting. It seemed like only a child would complain to his parents when something happened. My Yusin is 17 years old this year, and even he wouldn't do such a thing. She was saying that Hua Mingmei was worse than a child. Hua Mingmei nodded repeatedly. Good. How is this a marriage? It's clearly a feud, isn't it? Mingmei, sit down. Old Master Hua looked at Hua Mingmei. his eyes full of disapproval. Sit down. Hua Mingmei stood still. Wei Nantian pulled her body slightly and made her sit down. Old Master Hua cleared his throat and looked at Li Qianxue awkwardly. I'm sorry. Mingmei has been spoiled by me since she was a child. She doesn't know her limits. I was just talking nonsense. Please don't take it to heart, in-law. Who was talking nonsense? Hua Mingmei was about to lose her temper again. Wei Nantian pressed her shoulder and whispered something in her ear. She turned her face away angrily and stopped looking at them. Of course not. As Li Qianxue spoke, she turned around and gave Su Qingsang a loving look. Originally, we didn't need to listen to Aunt Jinyao's words. Although Qingsang is a good child, she is a little clumsy and doesn't know how to speak well. As her mother, I overstepped my authority and said a few more words. I hope you won't take it to heart, old master. We're a family from now on. Of course I won't take it to heart. Old Master Hua's words were quite beautiful. He turned to look at Old Master Li. Brother Yongfeng, don't you think so? Of course. Old Master Li looked around and understood what was going on. He quite agreed with what his daughter had just done. However, there was still a faint worry in his heart. He was worried that Su Qingsang would have to face such a big family in the future. Her mother-in-law was not easy to get along with. In the future, Hui Yangyuan, who had been silent until now, spoke up. This family doesn't need to be polite. We're a family from now on. It's also fate that we can become in-laws. There's nothing wrong with it. As soon as he spoke, Hui Yangxiu also chimed in. Several of the most senior people had spoken, and the rest of the younger generation couldn't say anything else. Old Master Hua's intention to protect Su Qingsang was too obvious. Even if the younger generation still had some thoughts in their hearts, they swallowed them back. Even if the matter was over, no one in the living room would talk about what had just happened. Only Lu Tongjia looked at Li Qianxue, her eyes full of mockery. Su Qingsang felt that look, not to mention the others. When it was time to go out for lunch at noon, she asked Li Qianxue and Old Master Li to get in her car. Almost as soon as she got in the car, she couldn't help but ask Li Qianxue. Chapter 473. Li Qianxue glanced at her daughter. Her expression was a little strange. Not only her, but Old Master Li's face also darkened when he thought of what happened before. What happened? Your mother-in-law knows. Li Qianxue suddenly became very depressed when she said this. She didn't expect Su Qinghui to be so shameless. She didn't force Su Qinghui to sign before because of the two children. She didn't want others to know that Su Qingsang and Su Yusin had such a father. However, Su Qinghui obviously didn't know what it meant to give up. She had been in Rong City these days and received Su Qinghui's calls from time to time. He just wanted to say that he didn't want to sign. Don't divorce. Li Qianxue was sick of Su Qinghui. She hated this man as much as she loved him in the past. However, things had developed to this point. It was more than hate. It was still disgusting. In order not to divorce, Su Qinghui could tell any lie. He said that he cared about her the most now, that he regretted it, and that he knew he was wrong. He shouted. Did he think she was a fool? If she hadn't said that she would kick Su Qinghui out, he wouldn't have behaved like this and said such things. Now, for money, for property, he really had no bottom line. Li Qianxue didn't answer his calls recently. She didn't expect Su Qinghui to send a message. He actually told Li Qianxue that Su Peijian had come to Rong City. Su Qinghui didn't know that Su Peijian wanted to come to Rong City. But she was still the daughter he had loved for so many years. After the call with Su Peijian that day, he was still worried. He knew that Su Peijian blamed him. He wanted to make things clear with Su Peijian, but he didn't expect to see Su Peijian and Xiang Kaiping together. Peijian? Kaiping? Su Qinghui saw the mother and daughter finally recognize each other. For some reason, he felt inexplicably uncomfortable. You recognize each other. Why? Are you surprised that we recognize each other? Xiang Kaiping hated Su Qinghui now. If it weren't for him, she wouldn't have recognized the wrong daughter. How could her daughter be chased out by someone? Su Qinghui looked at Su Peijian. He had some understanding of his daughter. As far as he knew, This daughter of his did not seem like the kind of person who would accept Xiang Kaiping. He even thought that Su Peijian would hate Xiang Kaiping for abandoning her and giving her the identity of an illegitimate daughter. However, Su Qinghui didn't expect that Su Peijian would not only admit it, but also admit it. Now, he was actually living with Xiang Kaiping. To him, this was too fantastical. Kaiping, you and Peijian, Su Peijian's words couldn't be trusted. Su Qinghui would rather let Xiang Kaiping say it and see what she had to say. He had some understanding of Xiang Kaiping. She had had a disagreement with Su Peijian before, and she had a fight because of Su Qingseng. Could she really accept Su Peijian without any grudge? Su Qinghui knew Xiang Kaiping. But this understanding was based on the past. More importantly, he neglected the heart of a mother and believed what he heard. Once one sided with one's family and ignored reason, it was inevitable that one's perception would be biased. Peijian is my daughter. Xiang Kaiping didn't mind letting Su Qinghui know. You should know that I didn't get along well with her all those years ago, and we didn't get to know each other well. Now that this mistake has been corrected, what's so strange about me acknowledging her? Su Qinghui didn't know what to say. He vaguely felt that something seemed to be wrong. It seemed that something was out of control. However, he couldn't figure out what was wrong. He couldn't help but look at Su Peijian. Peijian? When Su Peijian saw Su Qinghui again, her forehead was still throbbing with pain. She didn't look well. However, that situation only lasted for a few seconds. Very quickly, she composed her emotions and expression. She held Xiang Caiping's arm and faced Su Qinghui. You seem to think that it's strange. Actually, there's nothing strange about it. After all, I'm my mother's daughter. Isn't it normal for me to acknowledge her? Peijian. Su Qinghui looked at his daughter. Not only did the feeling in his heart not disappear, but it also increased. He didn't want to speculate about his daughter with malice. However, Su Peijian's behavior made him instinctively feel that something was wrong. Aren't you happy that I acknowledged my mother? Su Peijian looked at Su Qinghui. Even if he was her father, she still hated him now. I feel quite happy. After all, you and my mother have driven me out. I have to find a place to go, right? Peijian. I'm telling you, Auntie didn't mean that. You're just saying that I'm no longer your daughter. Su Peijian interrupted him. Enough. What's done is done. There's no point in talking about it. Su Qinghui was speechless. He looked at Su Peijian and Xiang Kaiping and said, Peijian, no matter what, you're my most beloved daughter. That won't change. Really? Su Peijian smiled. She took a step forward before Xiang Kaiping could speak. If that's the case, then Dad, give me the shares under your name. Xiang Kaiping and Su Qinghui were stunned when they heard that. Especially Su Qinghui, who didn't expect Su Peijian to make such a request. He knew that Su Peijian was angry with him and thought that it was because she was unhappy with him. Peijian, this is impossible. With Li Qianshue's agreement, he couldn't give the shares to Su Peijian. Moreover, he had already made Li Qianshue so sad before. If he gave the company's shares to Su Peijian, he was afraid that Li Qianshue would never forgive him. It was true that he loved Su Peijian, but Su Peijian had acquired a lot of assets over the years. Secondly, he still felt sorry for Li Qianshue. He still wanted to ask for Li Qianshue's forgiveness. Under such circumstances, he would never do anything to make Li Qianshue unhappy. You see, you say that I'm your most beloved daughter, but in fact, your love is just lip service. Peijian. Su Qinghui couldn't agree with such words. If you want something else, I can give it to you. But the shares of Li Group, they belong to your auntie. I have no right to give them to you. It's true that they belong to my auntie. But who will she give them to in the end? Su Qingseng? Su Yusin? Anyway, I won't get a share. Right? So you have used your actions to prove that you don't treat me as a daughter at all. Since that's the case, why do you have to say that you treat me as your most beloved daughter? Don't you think it's fake? Peijian. Su Qinghui had been mentally and physically exhausted in the past few days. His wife wanted to divorce him, and his 2 children were not close to him now. And his children, who used to be close to him, were now alienating him. Now that she said such words, Su Qinghui took 2 steps back and looked at his daughter in shock. Peijin, you should know how I've treated you all these years. I can give you what belongs to you. But what doesn't belong to you, what belongs to me is the identity of an illegitimate daughter, isn't it? You let me enjoy the life of a rich young lady for more than 20 years, and then you beat me down to the ground. Is this your love for me? Peijin, Su Qinghui's expression was ugly. He didn't expect that his most beloved daughter would fight back like this. And he couldn't even resist. Su Peijin sneered, and her tone became sharp. Dad, there's no need to say more. I don't want to hear it. You can go now. I don't want to see you. Peijin, go. Su Peijin turned around and looked at Xiang Kaiping. I already have my own mother now. I will live a good life with my mother in the future. As for the rest, since you said it doesn't belong to me, I have nothing to say to you. Peijin, no matter what, I am still your father. Don't I call you Dad now? You can go. Su Qinghui wanted to say something, but Xiang Kaiping took a step forward. Are you going or not? My daughter said she doesn't want to see you. You don't have to come to me anymore. Su Peijin didn't mind letting Su Qinghui know where she was going. My mother and I have decided to leave Lin City. So please don't come here next time. Leave Lin City? Su Qinghui looked anxious. Where are you going? My mother used to develop in Rong City. Now she wants to take me back to Rong City to continue living. You don't want me, but that doesn't mean my mother doesn't want me either. You are not willing to give it to me. My mother is willing to give it to me. So please don't come to us in the future. Peijin, that's right. Xiang Kaiping also took a step forward. Su Qinghui, we have nothing to do with you now. Please don't come to us in the future. The 2 of them had the same attitude. Su Qinghui had no choice but to turn around and leave. After he left, Su Peijin looked at Xiang Kaiping. Mom, did you see that? That's how Dad treats me. Xiang Kaiping looked at Su Peijin, her eyes a little conflicted. Why did you ask your father for shares? It was true that she wanted to recognize her biological daughter. However, she didn't think that Su Peijin had the right to take the shares of Li Group. More importantly, she and her mother didn't want the things that belonged to that woman. Mom, I did it on purpose. Su Peijin hooked her arm and coquettishly said to her like a daughter, you saw it too. My father said that he loves me the most, but he can't even bear to give me a little bit of his property. What do I need such love for? Xiang Kaiping looked at Su Peijin and was momentarily confused. However, she still felt that there seemed to be something wrong. I just don't want the benefits from that woman, and I don't want you to have them. Chapter 474. Su Peijin didn't finish her sentence, but Xiang Kaiping could understand what she meant. She wanted to use this method to test Su Qinghui, but she didn't expect this result. I've finally seen through your father. He's as hypocritical as he can be. If he doesn't want to give it to you, then so be it. From now on, we'll depend on each other. Damn it, everything is yours. Thank you, Mom. You're the best. Su Peijin buried her face in Xiang Caiping's arms, smelling the completely different scent from Li Qianshue's. Her eyes flashed with obvious emotion. Now I know who is really good to me. On this side, the relationship between mother and daughter was constantly improving. On the other side, Su Qinghui sat there in a daze after getting into the car. He didn't want to speculate about his daughter with the worst of intentions. However, Su Peijin's tone and expression just now made him feel that she meant it. She really wanted the shares of Li Group and really wanted to return to the Su family. The problem was that he didn't have the initiative in these 2 things now. Li Qianxue insisted on divorcing him, and he wanted to return to the Li family but couldn't. How could he give the shares of Li Group to Su Peijin? Even if he really had that ability, he didn't want to hurt Li Qianshue's heart anymore. Thinking that every time he called Li Qianxue in the past few days, they ended on bad terms, his heart was filled with bitterness. Now, Li Qianxue didn't even want to talk to him more than a few words. Every time he called, she asked when he would sign the papers and when the divorce would be. More importantly, No matter what he said, no matter how many words he said. Li Qianxue didn't believe a word. She scolded him for being shameless and shameless. She said that he would do anything to not get a divorce. He really wanted to be shameless. He really wanted to be shameless for once. However, listening to Li Qianxue's words, not only could he not get angry, but he only felt heartache. So, this was how Li Qianxue felt when he talked about her like that before? Thinking about it in her shoes, he would understand how she felt at that time. But now, he understood and Li Qianxue was no longer willing to believe it. Su Qinghui was very busy these days. On the one hand, he was busy looking for Su Peijian, and on the other hand, he was busy with the company. He knew that Li Qianxue no longer trusted him, but some things, some projects, were handled by him. Even if he wanted to divorce Li Qianxue, he wanted to settle the matter first. Even if all his actions now fell into Li Qianxue's eyes, he still had to do it. Now that he knew that Su Peijian was going to Rong City, he felt that he should tell Li Qianxue and Su Qingseng. He always felt that Su Peijian's purpose in going to Rong City was not simple, although he did not want to think of her in this way. More importantly, he needed more opportunities to contact Li Qianxue. Even if it was just to hear her voice. But what he didn't expect was that he and Li Qianxue parted on bad terms again. Unlike Su Qinghui, who was unwilling to speculate about Su Peijian with the greatest evil, Li Qianxue did not mind speculating about Su Qinghui with the greatest evil. Peijian is coming to Rong City? Why would she come to Rong City? Li Qianxue recalled the argument she had with Su Qinghui on the phone. What's wrong? Do you think you can stop me from divorcing you just because Su Peijian is here? Aren't you being too optimistic? I don't mean that. I don't care whether you mean that or not. Su Peijian doesn't need to tell me whether she is coming to Rong City or not. Unless she is here to cause trouble for me and Qingseng. Su Qinghui instinctively defended Su Peijian. Why would she cause trouble for you? She has now met Xiang Kaiping. Xiang Kaiping used to live in Rong City, so she decided to bring Peijian there. That's why I decided to bring Peijian there. I don't think she's here to make trouble for you. Then you don't need to tell me. Although Li Qianxue also cared about Su Peijian, she would never show it at this time. She is no longer my daughter. She is your daughter. You don't need to tell me where she is going and what she is doing in the future. Qianxue, unless she came to Rong City to look for me or Qingseng, Su Qingseng said. That's impossible. It's best if it's impossible. Li Qianxue's voice was very cold. Su Qinghui, no matter what, I have raised Su Peijian for more than 20 years. I treat her as my own daughter. I have given her everything I can. If she can still blame me or Qingseng in her heart, then I can only say that she is really not a good person. Qianxue, don't say things like that. Peijian was brought up by you. Although she is a little spoiled and a little willful. But her nature is definitely not bad. You know this as well. I don't know. Of course, Li Qianxue was willing to believe that Su Peijian's nature was not bad. No matter what, she was the daughter that she had raised. She would not and did not want to think badly of Su Peijian. However, when facing Su Qinghui, Li Qianxue did not want him to think too much. Just like I once wanted to believe you, believe that even if you didn't love me. But there was still the minimum respect and honesty for me. In the end, I found out that my respect and honesty were a joke. You replaced my daughter and made my daughter grow up with the reputation of being an illegitimate daughter. And made her even more ridiculed now. Su Qinghui, now you are talking to me about trust. Do you think you still have trust in front of me? Qianxue? Don't call my name. Li Qianxue could not think about those things. In fact, she did not want to think about what had happened before. For the past few days, she had been accompanying her daughter and accompanying her old father to walk around and look around. Originally, she had begun to feel much more cheerful. However, Su Qinghui always had to call from time to time and appear in front of her, making her feel like she was being stared at by a fly. Su Qinghui, since you exchanged Qingseng and Peijian's identities and made Qingseng an illegitimate daughter, I have nothing to say to you anymore. I have nothing more to say to you. I only have one request now, and that is for you to sign the divorce papers. Qianxue. If you still have a little conscience, don't think that you can get more benefits from maintaining this marriage. That's impossible. I don't think so, Qianxue. I've said it before. I don't want to get a divorce because I realize that you are the most important person to me. Su Qinghui, before I completely hate and disgust you, put away your hypocritical words that make me sick. If you really think that I am the most important person to you as you said, then I only hope that you sign the divorce papers. I will take this as your last kindness to me. Li Qianxue received Su Qinghui's call when she was about to reach the Hua family's house with old Master Li. She didn't want old Master Li to worry, so she took her phone to the other side to make the call. The location she chose was the corner of the courtyard wall outside the Hua family's house. She clearly saw that there was no one there, but when she hung up the phone, she found that Lu Tongjia happened to be standing not far in front of her. Li Qianxue did not know how long she had been listening, nor did she know how much she had heard. However, when she met Lu Tongjia's half-smile and mockery, she did feel awkward and uncomfortable. She wanted to turn around and leave as if nothing had happened, but Lu Tongjia walked towards her step by step. She tilted her face and stared at Li Qianxue. Change children? Divorce? Naturally, Li Qianxue felt uncomfortable when someone heard her most embarrassing thing. However, this woman was Lu Tongjia, the Lu Tongjia who had been at odds with her from the beginning. Eavesdropping doesn't seem to be the behavior of a gentleman. Eavesdropping? Lu Tongjia looked at Li Qianxue as if she was watching a joke. Do you want me to remind you that the land you are standing on now belongs to the Hua family? She said that she was eavesdropping in the Hua family's territory? If I remember correctly, I don't think I stepped into your yard. Indeed, you didn't. Lu Tongjia didn't want to argue with Li Qianxue anymore. She smiled coldly and looked a bit sarcastic. But you are standing on the road talking about these things. How can you blame others for eavesdropping? There weren't many things in Li Qianxue's life that could make her feel embarrassed. This was one of them. Most importantly, the person who heard it was Lu Tongjia. She knew all too well that this woman had a problem with Su Qingsang. She might say something unpleasant to Su Qingsang. Li Qianxue forced herself to act as if nothing had happened. Her face was also calm. Sorry, it's time to meet with old Master Hua. I'll leave now. You're in a hurry to leave? Lu Tongjia was really glad that she wanted to get out of the car for a walk. Otherwise, she wouldn't have heard such a wonderful show. Did you just say that Su Qingsang's father changed her identity? You heard wrong. Li Qianxue's expression didn't change. Heard wrong? The smile on Lu Tongjia's lips became more and more radiant. My hearing is very good. That's why. No wonder I said that she was an illegitimate daughter. How did she become a rich young lady? So that's what happened? Li Qianxue knew that if the Hua family found out about this, they would definitely be at a disadvantage. The upper class valued their followers the most. No matter how dirty it would be behind closed doors. No one would really put some things on the table. Especially those with illegitimate daughters. Changing the identity of an illegitimate daughter like this, turning her into a rich young lady, turning a legitimate young lady into an illegitimate daughter, was something that no family could tolerate. Thinking of this, she hated Su Qinghui more and more. No matter what she thought, Li Qianxue didn't show it on her face. So, Su Qingsang is my biological daughter. There's no such thing as acknowledging an illegitimate daughter for the sake of money and connections with the Hua family. Are you relieved now? Chapter 475. Mrs. Hua, please don't cross the line. If there was anything in Li Qianxue's life that was a taboo for her, it was her children. If there was anything that could make her feel bad, it could only be her children. At the moment, Lu Tongjia thought that she had something on her. However, no matter what it was, she would not allow her to use this as an excuse to talk about her daughter. Qingsang is innocent in this matter. Please don't involve her in this. I'm the one who wants to involve her? She insisted on marrying into our family. I don't know what kind of means she used. Lu Tongjia sneered, and the disdain in her eyes was clear. Hua Jinyao went to Lin City for less than 3 weeks, and he was already with your daughter. Hua Jinyao only went there to inspect the business. As soon as he came back, it became a marriage. When did your daughter and Hua Jinyao meet? Did you agree to this sudden marriage? At that time, you didn't know that she was your daughter, did you? At that time, your daughter was just an illegitimate daughter. How did she get together with Hua Jinyao? She put her foot on Hua Jinyao's shoulder. You found out about her parentage right after? What a coincidence! Before hearing this phone call, she didn't approve of Su Qingsang and Hua Jinyao being together. Now that she heard this phone call, she disapproved of it even more. Lu Tongjia said that Su Qingsang and Hua Jinyao's marriage was a conspiracy. Li Qianxue didn't want to be bullied. She was about to refute when old Master Li saw that she didn't come over and started to walk over. Li Qianxue cared about her father's feelings and didn't want to argue with Lu Tongjia in front of old Master Li. She could only look at her deeply, then turned and walked in the direction of old Master Li. Now that her daughter asked her what was going on, Li Qianxue couldn't tell Su Qingsang about Lu Tongjia in front of old Master Li. Nothing. I just thought that today is the day you meet the Hua family, but your mother-in-law ran out. I'm just a little upset. Mom, it's okay. Su Qingsang knew that Li Qianxue was worried about her, but she didn't think it was a big problem. Hua Jinyao has an apartment in the city. It's half an hour's drive from his company and only 20 minutes from the hospital where I work. In any case, I'll start work in 2 days. If Hua Jinyao and I live outside and don't come back often, we won't have the chance to spend time with my mother-in-law. Li Qianxue saw that Su Qingsang was still optimistic, but she couldn't think of things as simple as her. Knowing what Su Qinghui had done, Lu Tongjia put Su Qingsang in the same category. Li Qianxue knew that Su Qingsang would have to face some difficulties in the future. After thinking for a while, she squeezed Su Qingsang's hand hard. Qingsang, listen to me. Although Hua Jinyao is very good to you right now, you still have to be careful. Although for the time being, you can also avoid living outside. However, as long as Hua Jinyao is still related to his mother by blood, you will have to face her in the future. Hua Jinyao may be on your side now, but no one can tell what will happen in the future. I don't recommend that you go back to your parents' house if you have a problem. But if that day really came, the Hua family can't tolerate you, so don't let yourself be wronged. Come home directly. After saying all this, Li Qianshue's voice was still a little sad. No matter what, you are a daughter of the Li family. Su Qingsang looked at Li Qianxue and felt warmth in her heart. She leaned her face against Li Qianshue's shoulder and gently rubbed it. Mom, don't worry. I know everything. She really knew everything, and she really wouldn't let herself be wronged. What's more, she was willing to believe in Hua Jinyao. She believed that he wouldn't let her be wronged. Li Qianxue couldn't be optimistic, so she had some worries in her heart. On the one hand, she was still a little worried, but on the other hand, she hated Su Qinghui even more. If he hadn't done this, how could her Qingsang have experienced such a thing? How could she be looked down upon by her in-laws? Su Qinghui, I will never forgive you. The restaurant was booked at a very famous 5-star hotel near the Hua family's house. In the large private room, the Hua family and the Li family were sitting at 2 tables. Old Master Hua arranged for Old Master Li to sit next to him. Then he asked Li Qianxue to sit next to Old Master Li. On the other side were Hua Jinyao and Su Qingsang. On the other side were Hua Yangyuan and Hua Yangxiu. Their attitude was enough to explain everything. With Old Master Hua around, no matter how much Lu Tongjia disliked Su Qingsang, she didn't show it. The elders were in one circle, and the juniors were in another. The atmosphere of the meal was quite good. Especially towards the end, Old Master Hua looked at Old Master Li and his eyes fell on Su Qingsang. Brother Yongfeng, I like Qingsang very much as my granddaughter-in-law. You don't have to worry. Even if you aren't in Rong City, I will still treat her as my own granddaughter. Of course I'm not worried. Old Master Li's words were very tactful. With your words, Brother Hua, what else do I have to worry about? You don't have to be too accommodating to her. If there's anything wrong with her, feel free to point it out. Since you treat her as your own granddaughter, say whatever you want to say. Old Master Hua smiled and said, How can there be anything wrong with her? If you ask me, I only have one request for Qingsang right now. Turning to Su Qingsang, Old Master Hua's eyes were full of teasing. Ask her to give birth to a big fat boy so that I can see my great-grandson before I go into the coffin. I don't ask for anything else. Grandpa. Su Qingsang blushed, but she still added, "You're not old. You want to live to 100 years old." Ha ha. Old Master Hua laughed and waved his hand. I don't expect to live to 100 years old. When I see my great-grandson one day, I can die with peace of mind. Dad, what are you talking about? Hua Mingguang got up and poured a cup of tea for Old Master Hua. It's such a good day. Don't talk about it. Yes. I'm old and confused. Old Master Hua tried to smooth things over, but the others all looked at Su Qingsang. The elders were still fine, but the juniors were looking at him with an indecipherable expression. Especially Hui Yifan and Hui Yang, the two of them looked at each other with deep meaning in their eyes. Brother. Hua Manzi approached Hui Yifan and said in a low voice, "If you use your time to get a wife and give birth to a son, you'll have a wife. I guess the person Grandpa values more now is you." Manzi, Hui Jinyao can win Grandpa's favor not because he can get a wife, Hui Yang said in a very low voice. That's because Grandpa is biased. Hui Yifan didn't look good. He stared at Hui Jinyao and Su Qingsang sitting at another table with a slightly gloomy face. Second brother. Hua Manzi was really not convinced. Grandpa is very biased. Both of them are his sons, and we are all his grandchildren, but he seems to only see Hui Jinyao. Stop talking. Hui Yifan narrowed his eyes, picked up the wine glass in front of him, and drank it in one gulp. Brother. Hua Manzi still wanted to say something, but Hui Yifan glanced at his brother and sister coldly. Don't talk so much. Hua Manzi stopped talking. Hui Yang also chose to shut his mouth after sneering. Hui Yifan stared at Hui Jinyao, then looked at the younger people sitting at the table with them. He tightened his grip on the glass so hard that his knuckles began to turn white. Yes, the people sitting at this table were all younger people. Hui Yifan, Wei Sihai and his sister, Zhang Qinghao and his brother, and even Hua Kaitao, a little kid. However, the people sitting at the other table with Old Master Hua were all elders. Old Master Hua and his sister were needless to say. The father and daughter of the Li family, as well as their uncles and aunts. However, Su Qingsang and Hui Jinyao were the only two younger people at this table. Old Master Hua's bias was obvious. The more Hui Yifan looked at them, the angrier his face became, and the tighter his grip on the glass became. He didn't know what they were talking about, but suddenly there was a burst of laughter. Even Lu Tongjia, who had always shown that she didn't like Su Qingsang, had a faint smile on her face. Hui Yifan's face became even more sullen, but it only lasted for a few seconds. He quickly returned to normal. There's still a long way to go. Hui Jinyao will see. All in all, the meeting between the Li family and the Hua family today was quite pleasant. Li Qianxue had been worried that Lu Tongjia would make things difficult for them at the dinner table and tell them what Su Qinghui had done. If that happened, she and Su Qingsang wouldn't have any face left. However, unexpectedly, Lu Tongjia didn't mention a word about it. Not only did she not mention it, but she even had a faint smile on her face when other people were talking. This undoubtedly made Li Qianxue even more worried about Lu Tongjia. She had a feeling that Lu Tongjia was waiting for a big move and would talk about it later. However, Su Qingsang didn't know what she was worried about at all. Instead, she came over and whispered in her ear. "Mom, look, my mother-in-law is fine now, isn't she? Don't worry. People like her care about their reputation the most. They won't really do anything that would be beneath their status. Especially under such circumstances." As she spoke, she winked at Li Qianxue, and there was a hint of mischief on her face. "Besides, I'm not someone who can be bullied. Don't worry." Li Qianxue looked at Su Qingsang's face with mixed feelings. Su Qingsang had been raised as an illegitimate daughter for more than 20 years. Normally, such a person's personality would be a little awkward. However, Su Qingsang didn't have any. Not only did she not have any, but she also looked quite calm and rational. Most importantly, she had a good heart. This made her feel both sad and proud. She should feel relieved that her daughter had grown up like this in a place and at a time that she didn't know about. However, she felt that if it weren't for the environment, how could Su Qingsang be so sensible? The whispering didn't escape Lu Tongjia and Hua Jinyao's eyes. Chapter 476. When Hua Jinyao came out of the bathroom, he saw Su Qingsang lying on the bed, looking at her phone with both hands. He could hear her chuckling from time to time. The heater was on in the room. She was only wearing a short-sleeved nightdress. Perhaps it was because he was too excited, his 2 feet would shake from time to time. This movement made the nightgown lose its smoothness, and the hem of the skirt rolled up. Looking at Su Qingsang's well-proportioned and fair calves, Hua Jinyao's eyes darkened. He walked to the bed quietly and found that Su Qingsang didn't notice that he had finished showering. Su Qingsang was chatting with Shi Mengwan. A few days ago, when she came with Li Qianxue and Old Master Li, she selected a few pictures of the snowy scenery and posted them on her WeChat moments. For those in the south who had never seen snow before, apart from praising the snowy scenery, they were amazed. Shi Mengwan also saw it. Recently, she had been busy drawing a design. Now that she was done, she had time to chat with Su Qingsang. She expressed anger and blamed Su Qingsang for abandoning her and coming to Rong City. She expressed her envy and hatred for Su Qingsang for being able to see snow and playing the extremely childish game of snowball fights and making snowmen. The last message she sent was that she also wanted to visit Rong City. In order to tease her, Su Qingsang casually threw a few pictures of the snowy scenery at her. There was also a line of text attached. Come on. Come on. I'll show you the snow when you come. Also, I have a big secret to tell you. Li Qianxue and Old Master Li were not in the photos she sent. As for the fact that she and Li Qianxue had acknowledged each other, things had been happening every day since they had acknowledged each other. For a moment, she didn't know how to tell Shi Mengwan. Shi Mengwan still thought that Su Qingsang had come with Xiang Kaiping. She even asked about Xiang Kaiping a few times. Thinking of Xiang Kaiping, Su Qingsang had mixed feelings. Speaking of which, what did Xiang Kaiping do wrong? She had simply fallen in love with the wrong person back then, and now she had recognized the wrong daughter. Su Qingsang still had Xiang Caiping's number in her phone, and she had not deleted Xiang Kaiping from her WeChat contact list. However, she did not have the courage to contact Xiang Kaiping. Xiang Caiping's accusation the other day made Su Qingsang sad, but at the same time, she felt a great deal of guilt and self-blame. Regarding Shi Mengwan's question, she could only tell her that she would know when she came. This time, she changed the topic and talked about the interesting things that happened in Rong City. Shi Mengwan felt another wave of envy and jealousy. Su Qingsang didn't notice that Hua Jinyao had already taken a shower while they were chatting happily. When the phone in her hand was taken away, she was shocked. When she turned around, Hua Jinyao happened to be on top of her. Hua Jinyao. Su Qingsang knew what that look meant. For the past 2 days, this fellow had been saying that absence makes the heart grow fonder, tormenting her to no end. She had been tired for the whole day and really needed a good rest. I'm very tired today. I need to rest. It's good for your health to sleep after it's done. Nonsense. How could he say something without any scientific basis without batting an eyelid? Whether it's nonsense or not, you'll know after you try it. Putting her phone on the bedside table, Hua Jinyao's hand went back to her body and slowly reached for her skirt. Hua Jinyao propped up his arm and looked at her. His raised eyebrows silently showed that he would not stop. Just once, okay? Su Qingsang wanted to beg for mercy. She had a husband who was very strong. What could she do? Just once. I'm very tired today. Hua Jinyao stared at her little face and nodded. Just once. Hua Jinyao didn't ask what had happened between him and Lu Tongjia. No matter what Lu Tongjia knew or wanted to do, he would be there. However, that night Hua Jinyao, who was extremely tired, had another nightmare. Endless darkness surrounded him. He tried hard to escape, but he couldn't. He could only keep running in the darkness. However, no matter how hard he ran, he couldn't run out of the darkness. At the end of the darkness was a vaguely familiar face. He looked at the familiar face and seemed to find the direction. He tried hard to run in that direction, but when he got closer, He saw the person's face clearly. The person put his hand on his neck and kept squeezing. Why don't you die? Why don't you die? The suffocation made Hu Jinyao wake up from the darkness. He patted his chest and kept panting. Hu Jinyao? Su Qingsang was really tired. Even the movement of the person beside her couldn't wake her up completely. She reached out and touched Hu Jinyao's hand subconsciously. Don't come. Her hand was soft and warm. Hu Jinyao gently held her hand and felt the softness and warmth of her palm. He laid his body flat again, lay down beside Su Qingsang, and fell asleep. He held her waist tightly and let her fall asleep against his chest. The dream just now became blurred. Hu Jinyao closed his eyes and fell asleep again. This time, the nightmare didn't come again. Holding Su Qingsang, he dreamlessly slept until dawn. Rong City Airport. Su Qingsang looked at Li Qianxue and Old Master Li. She held Li Qianshue's hand and her eyes were full of reluctance. Didn't you say you would stay for 10 days to half a month? Li Qianxue was also reluctant, but she had to go back to Lin City because something happened. Holding Su Qingsang's hand tightly, Li Qianxue tried not to let her eyes turn red. I really want to take you back. That's good. I'll buy another ticket now and go back with you. Nonsense again, right? Li Qianxue looked at Hu Jinyao who was standing next to her. You just say it. How can you bear to? Why not? I'll book the ticket now. Su Qingsang took out her phone as she spoke. Li Qianxue pressed her hand. Look at you, why are you throwing a tantrum? I'll let it go this time. I'll come to see you in the future. Besides, you can come back to Lin City to see me. That was what she said, but how could it be so easy? Su Qingsang suddenly reached out and hugged Li Qianxue. She had only been with Li Qianxue for a short time, but her feelings for her came from the bottom of her heart. She knew that this was the nature of blood. She really couldn't bear to leave Li Qianxue. Li Qianxue put her hands behind Su Qingsang and gently patted her back. Su Qingsang stepped back, her eyes still a little red. She sniffed and looked at Li Qianxue. Mom, you must come to Rong City to see me again. I'll go back to Lin City to see you too. Okay. Li Qianxue nodded. I have something to do this time. When I'm done, I'll come to see you when I have time. Su Qinghui was still working at the Li Corporation. Li Qianxue felt that it was intolerable. In addition, Su Qinghui had been dragging his feet and refusing to sign. She couldn't stand these things. She needed to go back to Lin City to settle things with Su Qinghui. But she wouldn't tell Su Qingsang about this. She didn't need to know. She just needed to be happy and live her life well. She glanced at Old Master Li and motioned for Su Qingsang to talk to him. After Su Qingsang stepped away from her, she glanced at Hu Jinyao. Hu Jinyao immediately reacted, and the two of them took a few steps to the side. She didn't tell Su Qingsang that Lu Tongjia had overheard her call, because she couldn't figure out what Lu Tongjia wanted to do and what kind of attitude she would have. But she didn't want Su Qingsang to know about these things, so she had to tell Hu Jinyao. She told him about what Lu Tongjia had overheard her call that day and briefly mentioned what Lu Tongjia had said. After saying this, Li Qianxue looked at Hu Jinyao and said, Jinyao, I know you're a good person. But your mother does make me worry sometimes. So you don't mind me saying a few more words now, do you? In fact, after the last meal, she had told Su Qingsang some things about how to get along with Lu Tongjia. If flattery didn't work, then avoid the other party. As long as she didn't have any positive impulses and could maintain a superficial peace, it would be fine. However, if Lu Tongjia used her mother-in-law's identity to make things difficult for Su Qingsang, it would be a little awkward. At this time, she could only let Hu Jinyao do it. Don't worry, Ma. I won't let Qingsang be wronged. That's good. When Li Qianxue spoke, she was still a little uncomfortable. Jinyao, don't blame me for being nosy. You also know that this child has been raised in the Su family as an illegitimate daughter. She has been wronged a lot since she was a child. I really don't want to see her be wronged anymore. Don't worry. I won't. I'm not an unreasonable person. If it's a small matter, it's fine to suffer a little. As a mother, I won't say anything. But your mother said that she cheated you into marrying her, and that she used a trick to make you marry her. These words sound too heart-wrenching. That's why I couldn't help. I know it all. After all these years, Hu Jinyao knew Lu Tongjia's personality very well. Don't worry. I know what to do. Besides, Qing Sang married me, so she is my wife. I will definitely protect her. That's good. Li Qianxue had nowhere to put her guilt towards Su Qing Sang. It was already past the best time to make up for it. In the future, she only hoped that Su Qing Sang and Hu Jinyao would be fine. It was almost time to board the plane. Su Qing Sang looked at Li Qianxue and wanted to say something. All right, don't send me off. Grandpa and I will have company. You can go back. Su Qing Sang nodded and looked at Li Qianxue. Finally, she couldn't help but take a step forward and stand in front of her. She whispered, "If it's possible, you and my dad should part ways." To be honest, she really didn't have much feelings for Su Qinghui. Although he was her father, Su Yusin was different. In the past few days, when she was free, she would send photos to Su Yusin, chat, and talk about Li Qianxue and old Master Li's situation here. Su Qinghui had gone to see Su Yusin. She could feel that Su Yusin was wavering. Chapter 477. The last thing Li Qianxue wanted to hear was Su Qinghui's name. She had returned to Lin City this time to settle the matter between her and Su Qinghui. All right, this is an adult's matter. You don't have to worry about it. Li Qianxue's words made Su Qing Sang want to laugh. Mom, I'm already married. Do you still treat me as a child? I just want to treat you like a child. If Su Qing Sang was still a child, she could start over with her and cultivate a mother-daughter relationship again. Unlike now, no matter how much he doted on his daughter, there were still more than 20 years between them. If Su Qing Sang were still a child, she would have stopped her from studying medicine. It would be good to study business. She could help out in the company, and she could keep her by her side. Some things were in the past. It was too late for her to regret. But she didn't want to let go of the person who caused all this. Su Qing Sang couldn't convince Li Qianxue, so she could only watch her enter the boarding gate and leave. Let's go. Hu Jinyao put his arm around Su Qing Sang's shoulders when they could no longer be seen. Hu Jinyao. Su Qing Sang suddenly turned to look at Hu Jinyao. Why do I feel a little uneasy? You think too much. Li Qianxue hated Su Qinghui so much right now. At most, she would divorce him and make him leave the Huaxia family without a penny. She would make him leave the Huaxia family with nothing. Li Qianxue wouldn't kill Su Qinghui, would she? If he wanted to make a move, he would have done it long ago. He didn't do anything impulsive when he was angry, and he probably wouldn't do it now either. Let's go. Maybe I'm thinking too much. He didn't think Li Qianxue was that pitiful before. Now that she knew what Su Qinghui had done, she truly felt sorry for Li Qianxue. Jinyao, do you think Auntie is now? If you want to know, I can find someone to investigate. Hu Jinyao knew that Xiang Kaiping was a good person. After spending a few months with Xiang Kaiping, he really respected her. No need. Su Qing Sang thought of the information she had received before. Anyway, Su Peijian has already acknowledged her. I think she will get along well with her, right? Xiang Kaiping was a good person. She believed that Su Peijian would feel Xiang Caiping's kindness sooner or later. As long as she felt it, she would slowly accept Xiang Kaiping as time went by. At that time, Xiang Caiping's bitterness had finally come to an end. Hu Jinyao didn't think so. He didn't want a girl who was used to being the daughter of a rich family to suddenly recognize a woman with no power as her mother. Based on Su Peijian's personality, this matter was still a little uncertain. In any case, he had reservations. However, he wouldn't tell Su Qing Sang this at this time. He didn't want her to think too much. Let's go. Go home. Yes. Let's go home. Su Qing Sang also needed to prepare for work tomorrow. Not long after they left the airport, a plane slowly landed. Xiang Kaiping didn't expect to come back here after going around in circles. She had only been gone for a few months, but the things that she had experienced made her feel as if several years had passed. Be careful. Su Peijian held Xiang Caiping's arm and smiled sweetly. You haven't fully recovered from your waist injury. You should be careful when going up and down stairs. I'm fine. I'm almost fully recovered. Ever since Xiang Kaiping had acknowledged her as her daughter, she had gradually become more energetic. She didn't look like she wanted to live anymore. She took the initiative to do rehabilitation. Now, as long as she didn't carry heavy things or do strenuous exercise, she would have no problem living a normal life. You still have to be careful. Su Peijian held Xiang Kaiping. When we get home, I need to hire 2 more caregivers to take care of you. I also need to hire a nanny. When Su Peijian said this, her expression was unexpectedly firm. I still need to work hard to earn money so that you can live a good life. Mom doesn't need you to do anything. Xiang Kaiping had been happy because of Su Peijian these days. Speaking of which, although Su Qingsong's personality wasn't bad, she was still a little cold. After getting to know her, she could also joke around and get closer to her. However, she really didn't have anyone like Su Peijian who would say nice things to make her happy from time to time. Su Peijian had a sweet tongue and was also her biological daughter. After spending a few days together, Xiang Kaiping not only sincerely accepted her as her daughter, but also became much closer to her. After calling a car, the 2 of them went to the house where Xiang Kaiping used to live. Before coming, Xiang Kaiping had already called the housekeeper who took care of her before and asked her to clean up the place. Before going to Lin City, she had originally asked the housekeeper to clean up the place when she had nothing to do. Now that the house was cleaned up, they could move in directly. Because Xiang Kaiping liked a place with a yard, she bought this small villa after she earned her first sum of money and paid off the previous bank loan. It was 2.5 stories, not big, with a small yard on one side and a parking lot in the back. At that time, she felt that it was enough to live by herself, and there was still space with the housekeeper. When she was free, she would plant flowers and raise grass in front of the house. Look, I haven't taken care of it for a while, and the garden has deteriorated. Xiang Kaiping entered the door and saw that the flowers and plants she used to live in had withered. It had snowed before, and even though the snow had melted now, some plants couldn't withstand the cold. She was so focused on her own yard that she didn't notice Su Peijian's expression. Su Peijian heard from Xiang Kaiping that she also had her own business in Rong City and had saved some money, so she thought that it was a big business. Now that she saw this 2.5-story house, her heart sank. What kind of villa was this? Even the servants' apartments behind the Su family's main house were bigger than this. Peijian, come in. Xiang Kaiping opened the door and gestured for Su Peijian to enter. Su Peijian immediately hid the disappointment on her face and walked forward with a smile. Mom, your place is so elegant. It's not good now. Look, the flowers and plants are all withered. I'll replant some later, and I believe that when spring comes, this place will look better. I believe you. I was too lazy to go upstairs, so I put the room on the first floor. There are 3 rooms upstairs, and you can live in the master bedroom, the biggest one. Okay, I'll listen to you, Mom. As Su Peijian spoke, she carried her luggage upstairs. The corners of Su Peijian's mouth tightened as she looked at the small house. Until she entered the door and looked at the room in front of her. It was bigger than the average room, but it couldn't compare to her room in the Su family. Xiang Kaiping was packing her luggage downstairs. Su Peijian threw the luggage on the floor and lay on the bed with a dark face. The quilt and bedsheets were newly changed, and they still had the smell of sunshine. But to Su Peijian, such a small room made her feel uncomfortable and uncomfortable. Staring at the ceiling above her, her mood became even gloomier. There was no dreamy white gauze like a princess, no gorgeous crystal chandeliers. She resisted the urge to scratch her head and forced herself to calm down. I'm no longer the eldest daughter of the Su family. Su Peijian. She kept reminding herself in her heart, and continued to deepen the hatred. After a few minutes, when Su Peijian had calmed down, Xiang Kaiping also went upstairs. Peijian, how is it? Do you like this room? She came back in a hurry, and only had time to clean it up. Looking at the room now, Xiang Kaiping suddenly felt that it was too simple. I like it. Su Peijian had already gotten up when she spoke, and quickly stood next to Xiang Kaiping. I like it very much. Really? Xiang Kaiping felt a little guilty. Don't you think the room is too small and there are too few things? Mom. Su Peijian hooked her arm. Who am I now? I'm not the eldest daughter of the Su family. I'm already very satisfied to have a room like this. Xiang Kaiping was pleased that she was so sensible. It's good that you like it. Don't think about work for now. Stay here and have fun for a few days. There are some good places in Rong City. As for what to do, we'll talk about it later. Okay, I'll listen to you. Su Peijian looked like a filial daughter. Xiang Kaiping was even more satisfied. She also felt a little sorry for her. In her heart, she decided to hand over the management of the 2 supermarket chains to Su Peijian. She believed that with something to do, she would not think about what happened in Lin City before. After discussing with Old Master Hua, Su Qingsang and Hua Jinyao finally got Old Master Hua to let them live in an apartment in the city. However, Old Master Hua asked them to go back to the Hua mansion for dinner on the weekends. Naturally, Su Qingsang agreed to this condition. The next day, Su Qingsang finally started to work. Monday morning was the time when the hospital was the busiest. As soon as Su Qingsang arrived, someone from the unit arranged for a female employee to come over for a physical examination. She did not even have time to greet the other colleagues in the department before she was dragged into work. For the whole morning, Su Qingsang was so busy that she did not even have time to drink water. It was not until noon that there were fewer people in the hospital. Sun Huiya finally had time to introduce the colleagues in the department to Su Qingsang. Su Qingsang had already met one of her students, Zheng Chenyu, the male doctor from before. It was also at this time that Su Qingsang realized that although Zheng Chenyu was a man, he was quite skilled in business. He was one of Sun Huiya's favorite students. The deputy director of the department was Shen Lingyun, who was a little younger than Sun Huiya and looked to be in her 40s. There was another deputy director called Yang Lu, who looked to be in her 30s. In addition to these 2 deputy directors, there were 3 other doctors, Ling Fei, Li Ting, and Zhang Qi. A few other colleagues had gone to the countryside and were not here. The head nurse of the obstetrics and gynecology department was Li Meilin. A few nurses also came over to greet Su Qingsang. Su Qingsang was still recognizing people and familiarizing herself with them when someone knocked on the door of the office on the other side. A group of people's voices attracted their attention. Su Qingsang stared at the person who came. Hua Jinyao? Why was he here? Sir, this is the obstetrics and gynecology department. If you want to see a patient, you have to go to the inpatient department. Chapter 478. I'm here for her. Hua Jinyao's words made everyone in the office look at Su Qingsang. Su Qingsang felt extremely uncomfortable. What was Hua Jinyao trying to do? It was her first day at work. Su Qingsang winked at Hua Jinyao and winked. However, Hua Jinyao didn't seem to notice the look on her face. He took a few steps forward and stopped in front of Su Qingsang. At the same time, he carried a box in his hand and placed it on the desk in the middle of the room. It's my first time here, so I didn't prepare any gifts. I bought some snacks from Xiangshan House for you. I hope you like them. Everyone's eyes lit up in the office of Xiangshan House. Xiangshan House was a big restaurant. Not only did it have good food, but it was also famous for its snacks. It was said that the ancestors of the pastry chef were royal chefs who specialized in making snacks. Later, he came to Xiangshan House and set the rules. 3 kinds of snacks a day, and only 20 servings of each kind. There were no more snacks after that. Although 20 servings was a lot, Xiangshan House was open from morning to night. Every day, countless people lined up to buy snacks. If you wanted snacks, you had to order them in advance. However, it was Su Qingsang's husband's first day at work and he brought snacks from Xiangshan House. Su Qingsang hadn't been in Rong City for long, but Hua Jinyao had taken her and Li Qianxue to Xiangshan House once. Naturally, she knew the story behind it. What on earth was Hua Jinyao doing? She couldn't help but stare at him. However, Hua Jinyao acted as if he didn't see it. He turned to the others in the office and said, "Hello. My name is Hua Jinyao, Su Qingsang's husband." Hello. A group of women stared at Hua Jinyao. Those who were married, such as the chief doctors, looked a little better. After all, the children were grown up, and they were too embarrassed to stare at him. However, the look in the eyes of the young nurses was different. They looked at Hua Jinyao with amazement. They looked at each other with amazement in their eyes. Hua Jinyao saw Sun Huiya standing in the office. "Are you the chief?" Hua Jinyao looked at the name tag on her chest. "Chief Sun? I am." Qing Sang is still young. If there's anything she doesn't understand, Director Sun should teach her more. Sun Huiya had also seen Su Qingsang's work in the morning. She had a good impression of this student of hers, who worked as soon as she arrived and didn't meddle in other people's business. "You're welcome, Mr. Hua. We'll all be colleagues in the future and we'll learn from each other. There's no need to take care of each other." "You're welcome, Director Sunday. Just call me Hua." Hua Jinyao grinned, revealing his white teeth. He was handsome, and his smile was bright and friendly. Sun Huiya liked Hua Jinyao even more. After Director Sun were the two deputy directors, Shen Lingyun and Yang Lu. Hua Jinyao said what he wanted to say and greeted everyone present. He said nothing more than that Qing Sang had just arrived and hoped that everyone would take care of her. Finally, he seemed to notice Zheng Chenyu. He stood in front of him and looked at the white coat he was wearing. "Which department is this doctor from?" "I'm also in the gynecology and obstetrics department." Zheng Chenyu smiled and extended his hand. Good, good." Hua Jinyao held Zheng Chenyu's hand and looked him up and down. He pretended to say casually, "Dr. Zheng, you look so young. You don't have a girlfriend yet, do you?" "I've been busy with work." Zheng Chenyu smiled a little awkwardly. Being busy with work was one thing. More importantly, as a man, why couldn't he be an obstetrician and gynecologist? As a result, he hadn't gotten married yet. Because many girls thought that he was a pervert because he studied obstetrics and gynecology. Zheng Chenyu also felt quite helpless. He really wasn't a pervert. It seems that it's been quite hard. When Hua Jinyao heard this, he shook Zheng Chenyu's hand again. He didn't know if it was his imagination. Zheng Chenyu felt that the smile on Hua Jinyao's face seemed to be fake when he heard that he didn't have a girlfriend. Also, the strength of his hand was really too strong. His hand hurt so much. Illusion, this must be his illusion. Zheng Chenyu didn't hurt for long, and Hua Jinyao let go of him. After this round of greetings, he stood in front of Su Qingsang again. "Wife, haven't you eaten yet?" He smiled brightly, and Su Qingsang could even feel that the way he called her his wife was particularly mushy. Su Qingsang looked at him with a helpless expression. "We're going to eat." "I see." Hua Jinyao looked disappointed, as if he was a little distressed. "Then you guys go ahead. I thought I could come over and have lunch with you." "Of course you can." If Sun Huiya still couldn't see it by now, she would have lived for so many years in vain. "Anyway, we'll be colleagues in the future. We'll have plenty of opportunities to eat together. Little Su, you can go with Hua." Well, even Hua Jinyao was called. How much did she approve of Hua Jinyao? Su Qingsang felt a little helpless. After glaring at Hua Jinyao, she apologized to Director Sun and the others, then left with Hua Jinyao. As soon as they left the hospital, Su Qingsang's expression didn't look good. Hua Jinyao went forward and put his arm around her shoulder. "Wife, what do you want to eat for lunch?" Su Qingsang didn't say anything. She really couldn't accept that Hua Jinyao had run to the hospital without saying goodbye today. "Wife, what's wrong?" Su Qingsang still didn't say anything and just walked forward. Hua Jinyao followed her and looked at her face. "Wife, are you not feeling well?" They had already reached the place where Su Qingsang's car was parked, but Su Qingsang still didn't know where to go. Hua Jinyao walked beside her, and his voice was a little softer than before. "Wife, are you angry?" "Angry? How would I dare to be angry with you? You're so kind to come over and greet my colleagues with snacks from Xiangshan House. I can't thank you enough." She said she wasn't angry. Hua Jinyao took her hand. "Wife, I'm just worried about you." He wanted Su Qingsang to go to Cheng Xinyun's private hospital, but she didn't want to. There were many patients in the public hospital, and it was busy and complicated. Worried about her? Su Qingsang suddenly said to Hu Jinyao, "Hu Jinyao, Mr. Hua. Do you know that today is my first day at work?" "I know. My first day at work, and you're doing this to me. How will other colleagues look at me?" "What's wrong with me?" Hu Jinyao blinked his eyes. He was over 6 feet tall, but he made such an expression at that moment. Su Qingsang's mouth twitched. "You came here and told everyone to take care of me. Why do I need anyone to take care of me? Besides, I'm here to work, not to be taken care of." Even though Su Qingsang had acknowledged her as her mother and was now the daughter of the Su family, some of her habits hadn't changed. She liked to keep a low profile and a simple working environment. If possible, she would try not to let others know about her family background. However, after what Hu Jinyao had done today, how could she keep a low profile? But this guy didn't have any self-awareness at all. Did he think that what he did was reasonable? Su Qingsang wanted to cut open his head and see what was inside. Hu Jinyao stood there without saying anything, but his face was full of grievance. Su Qingsang was going to open the car door, but when she saw Hu Jinyao like this, she stopped. "What are you doing, wife?" It was noon, and there were no people in the parking lot. Hu Jinyao didn't have to worry about being seen like this. "I'm so sad." Su Qingsang stared straight at his face, trying to see if he was acting. However, the accusation in Hu Jinyao's eyes was clear. "I really care about you. I know that today is your first day at work, so I wanted to see you." Hu Jinyao's voice was very soft, and it sounded as if he had been wronged. Su Qingsang's lips moved, but she couldn't bring herself to criticize him. She took a step forward and stood in front of him. "I'm not angry. You are. You're angry." "I'm really not angry." Su Qingsang raised her voice. Realizing that it wasn't appropriate, she softened her voice. "I'm just a little not used to it." Thinking back to when she went to Lin City Hospital to report, she went alone. After so many years, she was used to doing everything alone. Moreover, this work wasn't like going to war. Hu Jinyao really made her feel very uncomfortable. "But I'm really not angry. It's just that next time you do this, can you call me first? Let me be prepared." Seeing that Hu Jinyao still looked wronged, Su Qingsang felt very tired. "Do whatever you want. You can come and see me whenever you want in the future. Is that okay?" The grievance on Hu Jinyao's face finally dissipated a little. However, he looked at Su Qingsang carefully. "Honey, are you really not angry?" "I said, I'm not angry." Su Qingsang wanted to scream. "Then, honey, can we go for dinner now?" "Yes." Su Qingsang didn't know what to say now. Forget it. Hu Jinyao really just came to see her out of kindness, so what else could she say? She turned to open the car door. She felt a little guilty. He came to see her out of kindness and was worried about her first day at work. It wasn't good for her to lose her temper. How about she make it up to Hu Jinyao tonight? Su Qingsang had something on her mind, so she didn't see that after she turned around, there was no grievance on Hu Jinyao's face. He did it on purpose today. He suddenly remembered that it was Su Qingsang's first day at work halfway. She was beautiful and looked young. Because she was a doctor, she couldn't wear a wedding ring all the time. It was true that the obstetrics and gynecology department were all female doctors. However, there was more than one department in the hospital. Besides, Rong City Hospital was bigger than Lin City Hospital, so there must be more doctors. If there was another doctor like Swahongshan, he would first let these people know that Su Qingsang was married. Chapter 479. Hu Jinyao got into the car. Su Qingsang was looking at the building of the first hospital. Just now, another ambulance drove in, and the paramedics rushed out. Birth, old age, sickness, and death happened every day in the hospital. Compared to life and death, everything else seemed to be insignificant. Hu Jinyao didn't notice the look in Su Qingsang's eyes. He started the car and spoke in a seemingly casual tone. "There was a male doctor in your department just now? There aren't many men who work as gynecologists, right?" Yeah. Su Qingsang thought of Zheng Qinyu's self-deprecation and found it funny. Out of the corner of his eye, Hu Jinyao saw Su Qingsang smile. His tone was even lower than before. You're in the same department? It's not just a department. His teacher is Director Sunday. The last time I came to the hospital, he was also the one who brought me to the hospital office to complete the procedures. Hu Jinyao narrowed his eyes. This kid was fast. Fortunately, he came today. Su Qingsang abruptly turned her head to look at Hu Jinyao. Why do you ask? It's nothing. I was just asking. Hu Jinyao looked like he was driving seriously. After all, it's rare to see a male gynecologist. That's it. What else? Hu Jinyao turned to look at her, his dark eyes unexpectedly deep. Su Qingsang turned to look at Hu Jinyao. Since they got married, she had some understanding of Hu Jinyao. Her watery eyes wandered. Maybe it's because I'm a petty person. I always feel that you suddenly came here not to see me, but to let others know that I'm married. Hearing Su Qingsang's words, Hu Jinyao suddenly frowned in discomfort. Wife, how can you think of me like that? Su Qingsang stared at him without blinking. She couldn't be blamed for being narrow-minded. Hu Jinyao really seemed like the kind of person who would do such a thing. Hu Jinyao parked the car on the side of the road and pressed his hand against his heart. Honey, I'm so sad. How could you think of me like that? Su Qingsang was dumbfounded. She watched as Hu Jinyao turned his face to the other side, only showing her the back of his head. It was obvious that he was hurt by her. Hu Jinyao. Su Qingsang reached out to pat his shoulder, but he refused to turn around. Su Qingsang put her hand on her forehead and looked at his back. She felt a headache coming on. I'm sorry. I was wrong. Hu Jinyao still didn't turn around. Su Qingsang said helplessly, I was wrong, okay? I shouldn't think of you like that. Seeing that Hu Jinyao still hadn't turned around, Su Qingsang had to take a step back. How about I make it up to you when we get home tonight? Hu Jinyao finally turned around. Really? Really? Su Qingsang had already made up her mind. He nodded heavily, his expression serious and sincere. Now, can you not be angry? You promise you won't think of me like that next time? I promise. Su Qingsang did feel guilty. He came to see her out of the goodness of his heart, to see what she was thinking about just now. Okay, you have to make it up to me tonight. Of course. Su Qingsang took another step back. He didn't know that the compensation the two of them were talking about was completely different. Hu Jinyao was satisfied, but the expression on his face was still very serious. Honey, don't think of me like that next time. I told you, there won't be a next time. Su Qingsang felt extremely guilty. He was just short of raising 3 fingers and swearing. Then let's go. Hu Jinyao started the car. His voice was a little lighter than before. You have to work in the afternoon. Let's just eat something. Su Qingsang nodded. She wasn't particular about food. Her phone happened to ring at that moment. She looked down at her phone, so she missed the flash of cunning in Hu Jinyao's eyes. Since she had said that she would make it up to Hu Jinyao, Su Qingsang went to the market to buy vegetables after work. She had just started work, so it wasn't her turn yet. She left after saying goodbye to Sun Huiya. She used the phone app to find the nearby shopping malls. She had used her free time to search for some local specialties in Rong City. Now it was easy to buy vegetables according to the menu. Because when she lived with Xiang Kaiping, she would also help her cook. Her cooking skills had improved a little during this time. She couldn't say that her cooking was particularly delicious or amazing, but she felt that she could still make it. After buying the vegetables, she bought some daily necessities. When she was about to pay the bill, she happened to see the Okamoto on the shelf next to her. Su Qingsang stopped for a second. Finally, she picked up 2 boxes and put them in the cart. When Hu Jinyao returned home at night, he smelled the aroma of food in the house, which surprised him. Because he had just moved in, he hadn't picked a job yet. Old Master Hua had said that he would ask Xia or Aunt Zhou to come over. However, Hu Jinyao wasn't willing. He had already asked Yang Wenchang to pick the people, but it would take some time to pick the right and trustworthy people. When he entered the kitchen, he saw Su Qingsang busy at the cooking table. Her movements weren't very fast, but she looked very skilled and smooth. The aroma of food wafted over and the beautiful figure busy at the cooking table. Hua Jinyao's heart moved slightly. You're back? Su Qingsang heard the voice and didn't turn her head. She scooped the dishes out of the pot and said, Wash your hands. Dinner will be ready soon. Hua Jinyao didn't wash his hands. Instead, he took a step forward and put his arms around her waist. He lowered his head and took a deep breath on her neck. Honey, you smell so good. Honey, you smell so good. Stop it. How could she smell good with the smell of oil? It really smells good. Hua Jinyao leaned over and kissed her face. Honey, why did you think of cooking for yourself? What do you think? Didn't he make a scene at noon and ask her to make it up to him? Wasn't she making it up to him? Hua Jinyao's heart moved slightly and he couldn't help but kiss her lips. Su Qingsang quickly dodged. I said stop it. Wash your hands and eat. Okay. Hua Jinyao nodded, but he didn't forget to steal a kiss. Only then did he wash his hands under Su Qingsang's reproachful gaze. The dishes Su Qingsang made were relatively simple, home-cooked dishes. 4 dishes and 1 soup. The soup was chicken soup that had been stewed as soon as she came back. Have a bowl of soup first. Su Qingsang scooped a bowl of soup for Hua Jinyao. I specially read the recipe online and cut 2 shiitake mushrooms into it. Try it. Hua Jinyao took a sip and looked up at her. Yes, it smells good. Drink more if it smells good. Su Qingsang looked at the admiration on his face and seemed to feel a little embarrassed. Well, because I came back late, I used a pressure cooker to make it. Next time when I'm resting, I'll stew it in a clay pot. It should taste better that way. It's okay. It's very good. Hua Jinyao looked at Su Qingsang. You bought so many things today. Did you carry them all back by yourself? Yes. Su Qingsang nodded. Not much. It's just 2 big bags. You should have called me. I would have come back to help you carry them. No need. Don't look at me because I'm thin. I'm very strong. Of course, my physical strength is not bad either. Su Qingsang wasn't bragging. To put it bluntly, working in a hospital, especially for doctors like them, women were treated like men, and men were treated like animals. Sometimes, when pregnant women were tired and there were not enough hands, doctors had to help carry them. Sometimes, there were consecutive surgeries. Without a certain amount of physical strength and endurance, it was impossible to persist for a day. Are you strong? Why don't I think so? Of course I can't compare to you, but I'm much better than ordinary girls. Really? Hua Jinyao touched his chin and looked at the smug look on Su Qingsang's face. Then why can't you last long in bed every time? Hua Jinyao. Su Qingsang couldn't listen to it anymore. I'm serious. How can you have the nerve to say that you're strong? She begged for mercy in less than 2 minutes every time. It was more than 2 minutes, but for Hua Jinyao, it was definitely 2 minutes. Is that because I'm weak? That's because you're too strong. Hearing that, Hua Jinyao stopped picking up the bowl and leaned half of his body forward to get closer to Su Qingsang. Honey, are you complimenting me? Su Qingsang glared at him, scooped a bowl of soup for herself, and decided to ignore him. After dinner, Su Qingsang wanted to clean up the dishes, but Hua Jinyao didn't let her. Get the hourly worker to clean up tomorrow. The person I asked Wenchang to find will come tomorrow. There's no need. Just a few bowls. They'll be done soon. Su Qingsang got up and went to the kitchen. Hua Jinyao followed behind her and pulled her over to him. Honey, washing dishes hurts your hands. Don't wash them. Then you do it. Su Qingsang pouted and gestured for him to do it. The smile on Hua Jinyao's face froze. You want me to wash the dishes? Can't I? I don't dare to disobey my wife. Hua Jinyao squeezed her hand with a strange expression on his face. But I've never washed before. Are you sure you want me to? I cook and you wash the dishes. Isn't that fair? Fair, it's quite fair. Hua Jinyao nodded and stood in front of the sink. Looking at the bowls in the sink, he turned to look at Su Qingsang. Can you tell me what the first step is to wash the dishes? Put the water in and the detergent in. It's simple. Hua Jinyao did as Su Qingsang said. Su Qingsang watched him squeeze out enough detergent to wash the dishes 4 or 5 times. She thought about it and decided not to see it. She turned and left. However, less than 2 minutes after she walked into the living room and sat down, she heard a bang coming from the kitchen. Su Qingsang's eyebrows twitched. She forced herself not to go in and pay attention to it. However, not long after, she heard another bang. Su Qingsang picked up the tea on the table and took a sip. When she heard the third bang, Su Qingsang finally couldn't help but stand up and walk towards the kitchen. Just before she entered the kitchen, she heard another bang. Su Qingsang took a deep breath and tried to adjust her breathing. Chapter 480. So, when Su Qingsang stood at the door of the kitchen, she saw the broken pieces on the floor. Su Qingsang tried her best to look at the innocent Hua Jinyao calmly. Can you tell me what's going on now? Hua Jinyao's hands were still soaked in bubbles. His hands were empty. When he looked at Su Qingsang's face, he felt a little guilty. I don't know. Hua Jinyao blinked and looked like he really didn't know what was going on. I wanted to rinse the water and soak the bubbles. These bowls obviously didn't think so. They seemed to be more willing to run to freedom. Calm down. Su Qingsang's mouth twitched. So it's the bowl's fault, not yours? Of course. Hua Jinyao nodded and looked like she was right. It's really not my fault. Su Qingsang gritted her teeth and forced herself to calm down. She told herself that it was all her fault. She knew that as a young master, he couldn't have done these things. How could he wash the bowls well? Su Qingsang rolled up her sleeves and smiled. Forget it. You can go out. Honey. Go out. Although there were only 2 plates left, she didn't want them to be scrapped. Well, why don't we get the hourly worker to do it tomorrow? I said go out. Su Qingsang glared at him fiercely. Hua Jinyao shrank his neck and walked out. Su Qingsang watched him stand outside the kitchen, sweep the broken pieces on the floor with a broom, and dump them into the trash can. When the floor was clean, she washed the remaining 2 plates. She drained all the water in them and rinsed them. Finally, she put the remaining 2 plates and chopsticks into the disinfectant cupboard. While she was doing this, Hua Jinyao stood at the door of the kitchen and watched. Seeing that Su Qingsang had tidied up the kitchen, he felt a little guilty, which was rare for him. Honey, I'm sorry. I really didn't mean it. Don't say it. It was all her fault. She shouldn't have expected Hua Jinyao to wash the dishes. It wasn't something he could do at all. Honey, are you angry? No. She wiped her hands clean, turned off the kitchen light, and went back to her room. How dare you deny it? You look angry. Hua Jinyao followed her and insisted that she was angry. I told you I'm not angry. Su Qingsang decided not to argue with this guy. Too many things had happened in the past half a month, one after another. She almost forgot that this guy was a big CEO who could summon the wind and summon the rain outside, but he was simply a scoundrel at home. Honey. Just as she was about to reach the door of the room, Hua Jinyao put his arm around her waist and asked, You're really not angry? I told you, I'm not angry. Su Qingsang patted his hand and signaled him to let go of her. I'm not that easily angered. That's great. Hua Jinyao gave her a big kiss on the cheek. I knew I had a good wife. Put me down. Su Qingsang couldn't stand the smell of cooking oil. She was in a hurry to take a shower to get rid of the smell. I won't. Stop fooling around. I'm going to take a shower. I'm not fooling around. Let's take a shower together. As Hua Jinyao spoke, his hands began to move. Su Qingsang quickly grabbed his hand and asked, What are you doing? Yesterday, he said that he would let her rest for a few days and not touch her. Was he going to break his promise? Take my compensation. What compensation? Su Qingsang blinked, her eyes full of confusion. Honey, you're not cute like this, are you? Hua Jinyao carried her into the room and directly pressed her down on the bed. What's wrong with me? Honey, look at you. Hua Jinyao leaned over and kissed her on the lips. You said at noon that you would make it up to me. Why are you turning your back on us now? Haven't I already made it up to you? Su Qingsang glared at him. I'm going to make dinner. Su Qingsang seemed to realize that the compensation she was talking about was completely different from the compensation Hua Jinyao was talking about. She hurriedly explained, I'm talking about making a delicious meal for you. Hua Jinyao looked at the serious expression on her face, turned over, and lightly trapped her body in his arms again. But the compensation I'm talking about is eating you. Hua Jinyao. Su Qingsang had enough. Stop it. I still have to work tomorrow. She was really tired today. There were a lot of things to do in the hospital on Monday. She also went to buy groceries and came back to cook. She was really tired now. Hua Jinyao, can't you stop for a day? No. Hua Jinyao began to take off her clothes. You have to know that this is what you promised. So, honey, keep your promise. Hua Jinyao. Her cry was drowned in his kiss. He pressed his lips against hers and whispered, "Call me husband." Su Qingsang's face turned red. Are you going to call me that? There had been too many things happening recently, and Hua Jinyao hadn't been satisfied. Be good. I'll only do it once. If you're not good, I won't hesitate to do it a few more times. Su Qingsang realized that her voice was a little hoarse. She looked at Hua Jinyao. This guy was used to threatening her. Husband. Call me that again. Husband? Hua Jinyao was satisfied, but he didn't keep his promise. Instead, he came a few more times as if he had tasted the meat. It couldn't be helped. This was the only time Su Qingsang was willing to give in, and only when she gave in would she call him hubby in such a soft tone. He really didn't want to tell her that he was even more excited when she called him husband. It was better not to let her know such a little secret. But did Su Qingsang really not know? Of course not. Su Qingsang checked a pregnant woman's body, wrote a checklist for her, and set up a file for her next prenatal checkup. After a busy morning, Su Qingsang's back was a little weak when she got up. She couldn't help but reach out to rub her back. Dr. Su, are you tired? Li Meilin looked at Su Qingsang with some concern in her eyes. Our hospital is like this. When we're busy, we'll be in a daze. You might not be used to it yet. It's okay. What made Su Qingsang feel tired was not the small things in the hospital, but the torment of Hua Jinyao last night. She was clearly making chicken soup. Why did she feel that Hua Jinyao might have drunk tonic soup? Dr. Su. Li Ting's voice interrupted Su Qingsang's thoughts. She put away the medical records on the table and looked at her. What's wrong? It's embarrassing to say it. I also know that you just came, and it's not your turn to be on duty yet. But, Li Ting looked a little uncomfortable. Can you help me after work tonight? Sure. No problem. Su Qingsang agreed so quickly that Li Ting didn't need to explain the rest. It's my boyfriend's birthday today. Li Ting put her hands together and looked at Su Qingsang gratefully. Thank you so much. You're welcome. It's a small matter. She was only on duty. She had promised Hua Jinyao to have dinner with him tonight, but it seemed that she couldn't do it now. When it was time to get off work, Su Qingsang checked the patients and expectant mothers in the ward again. She went back to the office and planned to eat the takeout she had just ordered. She just sat down and opened the takeout package. Nurse Kolan came to call her. She quickly got up and walked out. The emergency department sent a pregnant woman. Her belly was already very big. She had been hit by a car. Su Qingsang quickened her pace. In the reception room, a pregnant woman was lying there and screaming. A very tall man stood beside her. Su Qingsang immediately went up to examine the pregnant woman. The pregnant woman suddenly grabbed her hand, pointed at the tall man standing beside her, and said, "Doctor, have someone keep an eye on him. Don't let him run away. He hit me." It's him. Su Qingsang looked at the pregnant woman who was so agitated and patted her hand. Calm down. I'll examine you first. Yes, examine carefully. Don't let this person run away. Su Qingsang nodded and took out a stethoscope from her pocket. The moment she put it on, she glanced at the tall figure behind her from the corner of her eye. Just one look and she was stunned. Wasn't this the police uncle who acted bravely for a just cause last time? When the man noticed her gaze, his expression didn't change, but he stood even straighter. Su Qingsang couldn't help but look at him again because of his action. She reached out and was about to pull the curtain on the edge of the examination bed, but the pregnant woman screamed again. "Doctor, you can't pull it up. You can't pull it up. What if he runs away if you pull it up? Su Qingsang frowned. Thinking of the last time this policeman helped to arrest the thief, she instinctively believed that such a person wouldn't do such a thing. When I examine you, I have to lift your clothes. May I ask if he is your husband? The pregnant woman's expression was a little ugly. Then what if he runs away? There are nurses outside. If you are really worried, I can ask the nurses to keep an eye on him. Is that okay? The pregnant woman agreed. Su Qingsang pulled the curtain and lowered her head to examine the pregnant woman. The pregnant woman kept screaming in pain. However, her eyes were fixed on the policeman outside the curtain behind Su Qingsang. She kept saying that she couldn't let him run away. Su Qingsang had worked in Rong City Hospital for some time. Looking at the woman in front of her, her intuition told her that something was wrong. Ma'am, can you please be quiet? I can't examine you if you keep making so much noise. Su Qingsang's words finally made the pregnant woman calm down. If she didn't speak, it would be convenient for Su Qingsang to examine her. She was about 6 months pregnant, and the specific pregnancy date would only be known after the examination. However, the pregnant woman didn't forget to say that she wouldn't let the policeman go while screaming in pain. Chapter 481. However, seeing that the pregnant woman was still screaming in pain, she could only examine the pregnant woman first. She gently moved her hand on the pregnant woman's belly. Does it hurt here? It's here. Then what about here? It hurts here too. It hurts everywhere. The pregnant woman screamed loudly. My entire stomach hurts. What kind of pain is it? Is it convulsive or intermittent? Can you describe it? How would I know how to describe it? Anyway, I just feel pain. Why does it hurt? That's the doctor's business, right? Do you know how to do it? The pregnant woman's voice didn't interfere with Su Qingsang's judgment. She lowered her head and continued to examine the pregnant woman. Finally, Su Qingsang straightened up and looked at the pregnant woman lying there. Madam, there's nothing wrong with your body. Everything looks normal. Normal? How is that possible? The pregnant woman suddenly sat up. Her movements were very nimble. How can it be normal? I was hit by a car. I was hit by a car he was driving. As she spoke, the woman pulled the hem of her clothes and was about to sit up. Su Qingsang looked at the woman's nimble movements and had an idea in her mind. However, before she could move, the pregnant woman seemed to have thought of something. She didn't get up but grabbed Su Qingsang's hand. Are you a doctor? Do you know how to treat patients? I was hit by a car. How can I be fine? Su Qingsang frowned as she looked at the pregnant woman holding her hand. It was such a spirited voice and holding her hand so hard. It would be strange if there was a problem. Madam, can you let go of me first? I won't let go. What kind of doctor are you? My stomach is hurting now. I was hit by a car and my stomach hurts. How can you say that I'm fine? As the pregnant woman spoke, she didn't let go of Su Qingsang's hand and covered her stomach with one hand. It looked like she was in pain. Su Qingsang calmed herself down and said, Madam, is this okay? I checked you just now and everything is normal. But if you still feel pain, I'll write you a list and you can go for further examination. I want a full set of examinations. The pregnant woman's voice was full of energy. But soon, she covered her stomach and cried. Su Qingsang looked at her and thought of one of the possibilities she had just mentioned, so she looked at her and asked tentatively. Ma'am, our colleagues in the ultrasound room should be off work at this time. You might not be able to get an ultrasound today. Why don't you come again tomorrow? How can I come tomorrow? My stomach is going to kill me tomorrow. When the pregnant woman screamed, Su Qingsang had already confirmed her guess, but she still added another sentence. Of course, you can also go through the admission procedures now and stay here for one night. You can go through the checkup tomorrow. Then I'll stay for one night. What the pregnant woman said confirmed Su Qingsang's guess. She nodded and said, All right, I'll write the admission form for you. I'll ask the nurse to take you to the ward now. Is that okay? I want that person to do it. At this time, The pregnant woman did not forget to point at the tall man outside. He bumped into me. Of course, he has to send me home. He's going to pay for you. You have to pay a deposit if you want to stay in the hospital. Let him pay the deposit. The pregnant woman was relieved. Su Qingsang asked Kalan to take the pregnant woman to the ward. She watched the pregnant woman walk out, not forgetting to tell the tall man not to leave. She told him to wait and teach him a lesson. Then she looked at the tall man. The police officer was also looking at her. He had been standing outside just now, so he had heard what Su Qingsang said. Looking at him from a close distance, Su Qingsang found that the man's facial features were not only handsome, but also strong. His skin was the color of wheat, and he looked healthy. He also had a strong body, which was obvious that he worked out regularly. Where do I pay? The man didn't seem to notice Su Qingsang's gaze and asked casually. Listening to the voice, it sounded a little cold. Su Qingsang waved her hand and said, "There's nothing for you to do here. You can go now." Zhang Yichen didn't expect to hear something like that. He was dazed for a second and asked, "What did you say?" "I said you can go now. There's nothing for you to do here." Zhang Yichen still stood there without moving. Su Qingsang raised her eyebrows and blinked at him. "Am I wrong? The one inside isn't trying to blackmail me?" Zhang Yichen finally looked at Su Qingsang and asked, "How did you know?" She screamed so loudly, but the sound of the baby's heart was very strong. She was screaming in pain, but she didn't look nervous at all. If she was really worried about the baby, she wouldn't have the time to ask you for help. She would have cried and begged me to save her baby. Anyway, she probably just wanted to blackmail you. Even if she didn't, she just wanted to take this opportunity to blackmail you. If you don't leave now, are you going to wait for her family to come and ask you for help? Zhang Yichen looked at Su Qingsang with a hint of surprise in his eyes and said seriously, "You're very smart." "You're welcome. It's normal." Su Qingsang made a gesture of invitation. She had a feeling that the pregnant woman would call for help since the man in front of her was such a big man. If she was right, the help should be here soon. "Thank you." Zhang Yichen's car had a dashcam. However, the woman was a pregnant woman, and she was screaming so miserably. He could only choose to send him to the nearest hospital. As for whether the woman was blackmailing him or not, he didn't think too much at the time. When the pregnant woman walked into the hospital, he realized what was going on. However, he thought it would take him some time to solve the problem. He didn't expect to meet such a smart doctor. His eyes fell on the name tag on Su Qingsang's chest. Su Qingsang's name was written on it. "You're welcome. You should leave now." "I'm afraid you won't be able to leave if you don't leave now." Zhang Yichen nodded but didn't listen to her. "What will you do if I leave?" Su Qingsang wanted to laugh. She looked at the serious look on the man's face and said half-jokingly, "Yeah. What will I do? I'll let you go. Maybe I'll pay for the medicine myself. If worst comes to worst, that woman might start pestering me. What a headache. Then I'll go pay for the medicine." "I'm kidding. Were all police officers so serious nowadays?" Su Qingsang was afraid of him. "I'm sorry. I'll be fine. But if you don't leave now, I'll really be in trouble." Zhang Yichen gave her a meaningful look. He remembered that he had a mission later, so he nodded to Su Qingsang and left. When he walked to the entrance of the hospital, he saw 3 to 5 men walking in this direction in a hurry. He raised his eyebrows and took a step to the side. He heard the leader of the group say, "Where's that guy? Hurry. I can't let that bastard get away." Zhang Yichen heard Su Qingsang's words, but he was still worried. On the one hand, he was curious about how that woman would solve the problem. He glanced at the time. He had about 15 minutes left, so he decided to follow the men. Su Qingsang had guessed that someone would come to make trouble for her, but she didn't expect it to be so soon. Seeing the fierce look on the leader of the group, she calmly said, "Hello, you're Li Hong's family, right? She's been transferred to the inpatient department." "The inpatient department? She's in the hospital? Is my son okay?" Li Hong's husband asked in a loud voice. Su Qingsang felt her ears hurt. She nodded and said, "My son is fine. We've done a preliminary check, but your wife was worried." "Where's that guy?" Li Hong's husband rolled up his sleeves, looking like he was going to get even with someone. I told him to pay the hospital fee. He should be back soon, Su Qingsang said calmly. Li Hong's husband glanced at the men behind him and said, "Let's go. Go block the way." Su Qingsang stood there without moving. She was worried that one of the men was left behind to guard the hospital. In less than 5 minutes, Li Hong's husband came back with the men. "Where's that guy? Didn't you say he went to pay the hospital fee?" Su Qingsang blinked and looked at the man in shock. "What? He's gone? What should I do?" "I told him to pay the hospital fee." She looked serious, but she felt a little embarrassed. "Police officer. I'm so sorry. You'll be charged with a hit and run. I didn't do it on purpose. It's for your own good." Li Hong's husband started arguing. Half of the men said they would chase the man out of the hospital, while the other half said they would make the hospital take the blame. Su Qingsang listened to their quarrel and shouted, "Stop. Where's that guy? He said he went to pay the hospital fee. I thought he really went to pay the hospital fee. But he didn't. So I want to ask, which one of you paid the hospital fee? After all, Li Mei has other tests tomorrow." "What fees?" "The fees." Li Hong's husband stared at Su Qingsang angrily. "Didn't you say that my wife is fine? We're not staying in the hospital anymore. Let's go." "Not staying in the hospital anymore?" Su Qingsang said awkwardly, "But I've already written the bill. And the fees for the test just now. In other words, you can't leave. I'm waiting for you to pay the hospital fee." Li Hong's husband panicked. He took 2 big steps back and waved his hand. "Go and find that guy. Didn't he hit the man?" "Yes, but he ran away. You guys can go and find him. We don't have money. We don't have money." "Yes, we don't have money. We're not staying in the hospital." The men behind him agreed. One of them pulled the husband's arm and said in a low voice, "Brother, hurry up and take Li Mei out of the hospital. Otherwise, the hospital will be in trouble. Maybe they won't let us leave." "How dare they? We didn't do anything. We haven't even checked in yet. Let's go. Let's go." While talking, Li Hong's husband rushed toward the inpatient department, as if he was afraid that Su Qingsang would make trouble for them. They were going to take Li Hong out of the hospital. Su Qingsang pretended to call after them, but she didn't actually try to catch up with them. After Li Hong's husband and the others left, she couldn't help but laugh out loud. Zhang Yichen had been hiding in the dark, watching everything. He watched Su Qingsang deal with those people as if she was acting real, and watched her smile brightly after they left. His lips couldn't help but curl up a little. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.